Welcome back to the Sharpshooters Podcast Draft Edition, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody coming through. We about to talk about the draft. Sorry for the delay. A lot going on. Doing too much. Trying to watch the end of the Lakers game and other things. But happy to be back on here with everybody, man. We got more people coming to talk about a recap of the draft. Get their opinions on everything about their team and other teams. And we also going to talk about Bama players that got drafted and signed as unrestricted free agents. So, but before we do all that, I just want to introduce the guys. My main man, John, in the house. What's going on from the Bama Standard?
What's going on, man? Another day doing this recap, man, doing this homework, and there's a lot to unpack in this draft, man. There's a lot of moving and shaking, and yeah, there's a lot to talk about, really. Man, doing this homework, and
yeah, man, it's always a lot. That I heard an echo, but it's definitely a lot to unpack in this draft. A whole lot of drama. Probably one of the most watched NFL drafts of all time, for real, especially in the later rounds. That had to be like box office for real.
I couldn't imagine why.
And y'all already know we got my main man, Coach Carl, in the house. What's going on, my dog? And Coach Carl is away from his microphone, but it's all good, everybody. But we're here, talking with y'all. But we're going to get it started and talk about the winners and losers of this draft. John, my man, who do you think are the winners? And hold on. And before we get in there, Miss Janet,
Janet,
how you doing? We definitely got to say hey to you. Appreciate you for always supporting the show. And look at Kimberly come right behind. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody come on in. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Got Coach Sean coming. Everybody else, I think they supposed to be coming. So y'all just come on in. But yeah, man, who you think are the winners and losers of this draft?
So what do you want me to start off with? Winners or losers?
Well, when I say the winners and losers, we can do for right now, we can do the teams. Who you think are the winners and who are the losers? Then we can go to like individual players and talk about those guys too.
Well, I think the winner is very clear cut, in my opinion, when it comes down to this, and it's the Cleveland Browns, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to break this down. Outside of the Shedeur Sanders situation, right? Let's start off with just who they drafted, right? They drafted all need positions, and they are all quality positions. When you're talking about defensive tackle, Mason Graham, pairing him up with Myles Garrett on the line, good luck, right? So they went and addressed the need on the defensive tackle to get to the quarterback. So now there's just more than Myles Garrett to line up against. Linebacker Carson Swessinger, UCLA linebacker. If there was a need, once again, we're talking about needs here. The need at stopping the run, right, for the Browns was kind of an issue last year. I believe it was like 4.5 yards per carry, mainly coming from the lack of production at the linebacker position, specifically the middle linebacker, right? So Swessinger comes in and immediately addresses that need. He has okay pass coverage skills. When you're talking about what he does best, it's definitely going to be tracking down, right, stopping the run, all that good stuff, and durability, right? So once again, addressing needs here. You lose Nick Chubb. So what do you go and do? You trade up and get, I believe they traded up and got Quinshon Judkins, right, running back out of Ohio State, and then also address the need with Dylan Sampson, another great running back coming out of Tennessee. I just feel like when you add that in with the fact that you have a quarterback room with Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, now with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, I'm not missing anybody, am I? Because it feels like there's about 15 of them in there.
Yeah.
You're not just getting Shedeur, you're getting Shedeur on the cheap. You're getting Dylan on the cheap, Dylan Gabriel, right? So third rounder, I get he's a third rounder, but he's not getting guaranteed money like a first rounder.
Yep.
So you're getting these guys on the cheap. And ultimately what you're doing is you're creating quarterback competition, right? So you want to change a culture really quick in Cleveland, bring in a Shedeur Sanders, bring in the opposite side of that with Dylan Gabriel. And if you want a really good example of that, go on Twitter or X, right? Or go on YouTube and type in Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward talking trash. Cam Ward does nothing but blast Shedeur Sanders, right? To hype
Mhm.
him up. And it seems like sometimes that's what's needed. And Dylan Gabriel can be that dude, right? So opposite side of Shedeur Sanders, and then you got Joe Flacco, the veteran, and then of course you got Deshaun Watson going through his thing that nobody wants to talk about, no one wants to touch.
Yep.
So essentially, what you're doing is you're bringing in, and you're getting to decipher what you want. Do you want the Deshaun Watson maybe losing the allegations, comes back, everybody seriously doubts it? Do you want the Joe Flacco? Does he still have any left in the tank? Do you want the hype of Shedeur Sanders, right, and the lack of supposedly arm strength and everything else? And now you get to see it in person versus Dylan Gabriel, and you get to sift, and you get to pick your quarterback on the cheap. Maybe even keep both of them and drop the other two. Who knows how this is going to play out? All I know is that Cleveland gets to do all of this, plug all their needs, and then they get to do it on the cheap. So, I mean, and they addressed almost every single need they had. And the caveat on the whole thing, by the way, is there's one more. They traded down with the Jaguars and got an additional 2026 first round pick for next year.
Preach.
I don't know how you choose anybody almost over the Cleveland Browns when it comes down to needs, plug and play. I mean, almost all these guys are going to see action almost right away. And then you get additional draft stock for next season.
Yeah, and I think they was trying to load back up on those draft picks because of the Deshaun Watson trade and all that. But I'm not gonna give them too much credit, man. The only reason I'm not gonna give them too much credit is because of the Dylan Gabriel pick. Because I was like, if you just went with Dylan Gabriel, okay, cool, fine. But why would you go out there and draft Sheduer when he was the reason why I say that because it was other guys you could have picked that was this draft to feel like it was fully loaded. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
You could have got to go, you could have got Danny Stutzman, could have got a Kobe Bryant out of this.
Bowman.
Billy Bowman. Come on, man. It's so many guys that you could have went out there and got. But if they didn't hit so good, pause, in early in the draft with Quinshawn Jake, I thought was a great pickup.
Yeah.
Dylan Sampson, you can it just feels like Chubb is going out the door. That's where it's leading to.
No, absolutely.
Or they just giving him one more year, but it's not going to be long that he's going to be there. Harrafan, oh my God, I don't know how he just fell where he fell. I was like, you just got a mismatch right there. So
yeah. Well, and can I caveat that? So
go ahead.
You pick Dylan Gabriel, right? So, and maybe they believe that is their guy, and the facts is that Shedeur fell in their lap and created a situation they were not prepared for, but it just so happened to fall in their lap, right? You know, is that a possibility? I think that's definitely a strong possibility to where maybe they really do think Dylan is their guy. Do I think Dylan Gabriel is more talented than Shedeur Sanders? Me personally, no. You know what I mean? So, but there's arguments on both sides of that, right? So, because you do have baggage coming along, and by baggage, I mean it could be positive or negative when you're talking about the Dion camp and the whole thing going on. So, but yeah, I think maybe it wasn't planned, and it was just something that fell in their lap.
Yeah, man, it definitely didn't seem planned at all, but they literally, especially with Shedeur, we're gonna tackle that subject literally at the end. Talk about that whole situation. Just give like our final thoughts on that because I'm pretty much tired of talking about it at this point, especially with I'm just pretty much tired of it. But the thing is, man, you get a first round talent in the 5th round. I don't care how you want to look at it. On pretty much everybody mock's draft board, Dylan was I said Dylan. I'm thinking of Dylan Gabriel. On pretty much everybody mock draft board, you had Shedeur as a first round talent. So to get him in the 5th round is a bargain. It's cheap, like you said. So I think he's even more hungry about that
Yeah.
on trying to win the position, and it's a winnable position, to be honest.
Yes.
I believe it's a winnable position. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how all this go and play out. So we'll
But
see.
I have more winners than that. Just let me know
Oh
what
no,
you
no,
want
no.
from
Go
me.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So, my second one, in my opinion, has got to be the Baltimore Ravens. I think for a multitude of reasons, I think they picked up guys that were just clearly undervalued. And when you look at what they bring, and you could even talk about prototypical size and everything else, and they damn near match up with it. You get Malachi Starks, right? Needed safety position. You bring him in, who's going to be a baller. Mike Green, by the way, I think could be the best edge rusher out of anybody in this class. Uh, from I get it. People want to say he's from Marshall. Well, we clearly know. Look, if you just got it and you're that dude, that's what it
Mhm.
is, right? There's a reason why he went in the second round. I personally had him as a late first rounder, maybe even mid first rounder. That's how talented I think he is. You get Emory Jones Jr. out of LSU, the offensive tackle, once again creating depth on the offensive line. Carson Vincent, Alabama, out of Alabama A&M. Obviously, I give him a shout out because of Brinsky here.
Mhm.
Big offensive tackle, obviously. Tyler Loop out of Arizona. I mean, really, when you go all the way, clearly they were addressing depth in their offensive line, right? Even Garrett Dillinger at the bottom out of LSU, once again, the guard. And then my third big winner that I think is going to be overlooked, not many people are going to talk about, but I personally think it's a winner because of, once again, addressing needs, and it fits the scheme Jim Harbaugh runs. So we're talking about the Chargers. Look, they needed to address wide receiver, in my opinion, and running back. They go out and do both. Amarion Hampton, right, the running back out of North Carolina. You get Trey Harris, a wide receiver out of Ole Miss. So you get instant plug and play guys, in my opinion, right? I think possibly day one starters. You get Jamari Caldwell out of Oregon, defensive tackle, who I think is going to provide a lot of depth on the defensive side as far as on that line. And a guy that's overlooked as well, Branson Taylor out of Pittsburgh, offensive tackle. I mean, it goes kind of on and on, but Baltimore, in my opinion, seems to year in and year out kind of just quietly go underneath the radar when it comes to these drafts. They end up nailing a couple of guys every single year, and I think there's going to be no difference in this upcoming year. And there's a host of others I think that could have won in here. But man, there is some bad ones as well that just completely missed that I won't even spend a lot of time on when it comes down to it. But either way, that's all I have pretty much for my winners right now.
Oh yeah, man. Um, I think before we move on, a lot of people started jumping the chat. KT up in here, what's going on, dog? What's going on? Said Tyler Shook. He said drafting Tyler Shook was a huge loser. Hey, you said it, not me, but I'm saying it with you. Saints is definitely not a winner. Shout out to my girl Vern. What's going on? She
Yeah,
ain't lying.
that's obvious.
Yeah, and we definitely gonna touch up on them too.
Yeah, thank
The
you.
Ravens drafted Stark and Green. Those are winners, and they got Carson Vincent. Man, they man, y'all just don't understand. They had a great draft. They had a great draft. He said I give my Ravens an A in the draft class. I give them 2. Guy, what's going on with your brothers? Shout out to Cleveland. Yep, definitely shout out. Vern said Browns and the Commanders look
Yeah,
good.
man,
Yeah, they do. We only had 5 draft picks. I thought we was gonna trade and get more, but they drafted well with 5 draft picks. I'm like, I don't have a problem with none of the picks that they got. So it definitely worked. Said they still didn't. They still didn't Shedeur. I don't know. The coach looked less than enthused with when they called his name. Yeah, but they said that was just like don't pay too much to that because it's like the timing of it
Yep.
on everything. Like they said they was like high fiving and all that, and they was tired. So they said don't look too much into it. So I ain't looking too much into it. But of course, they gonna make us look too much into it. Roll Tide with your niche. What's going on? Huggy Beard up in the chat. He said Arizona fared well too. Yeah, they did. They did. Miss Susan up in here said, "My Eagles drafted Campbell. Don't remind me. I hate you guys forever because we had a chance to get him. But glad you are in here, my main man Dwight. What's going on? But yeah, man, appreciate everybody coming on in here. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and tell a friend to tell a friend. Come on over here. We got the guys coming over to talk about the draft. But look who decided to pop on into the show. My main man, my dog, Coach Carl. What's going on? It's never a live show when somebody's on mute. There we go. Early.
No, I actually wasn't gonna say anything until I made sure I unmuted this time. So, but it ain't much going on, man. How y'all fellas doing? Like, how y'all doing out there? I see you, Auntie Jen. How you doing, sweetie? Love to see you, Kimberly. How you doing?
But yeah, man, tell me your winners and losers for this draft. We're not talking about players yet. We're gonna get to that one next, but we're just talking about teams that you think that are winners and losers in this draft.
Arizona definitely won. Arizona had a hell of a draft, man. Baltimore with Medical starts was a huge get. Pairing him with boy named number 14. They played back there in that secondary, number 14, Kyle Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And those two together is a big win. Philly, sad for us in the NFC with Philly. Philly won it. I like the Browns, man. Browns actually did something decent when they came back and picked up Sheduer, so I think they got their starting quarterback in the 5th round. I thought I was thinking about what my team done, and we got 2 pass rushers in Atlanta, but we only had like 5 or 6 draft picks, so I really can't say they won the draft because they didn't get enough draft picks. In my expectation, we gave up too much to trade back in the 1st round. So, let me think. I think Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh would be my biggest loser. Pittsburgh and the Saints.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay did pretty well, but Pittsburgh and the Saints, both of y'all passed up on franchise type quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Like, I can't believe what the Saints done. The Saints passed up on Shedeur Sanders to draft Tyler Dirt, whatever you call him, because everything he threw under pressure in the damn dirt. I watched his combine and how he was throwing the ball in the combine. He looked terrible in the combine. I mean, who would draft that quarterback? You pass him for Quinn Ewers, Shedeur, and take this guy. I'll take Quinn Ewers before I took that guy. I mean, like, man, Saints definitely suck. And I'm glad that they suck in the NFC South. I promise you that. That's the best thing about it. They're in the NFC South. They didn't take Shedeur, so we don't have to worry about facing him twice a year for the next 12 years. So that's great. Sorry, Coach Sean, but the Steelers really pissed in this draft. They pissed poor badly. They had the opportunity,
Yep.
and they fumbled the ball. So those are my 2 biggest losers. Along with maybe San Francisco, because San Francisco should have took a quarterback with uncertain with Brock Purdy. But those are my 2 biggest losers so far.
Can I just caveat real quick on what Coach Carl said?
Go ahead.
I'm going to give a reason why I say the Steelers are the biggest loser in this draft. Sorry, Coach Sean. I hate saying this. You leveraged everything on getting Aaron Rodgers, and you left yourself no escape if he doesn't come. That's it.
But of course, man, my dog is in the building. We ain't been on too long. He had a busy day. I just appreciate the brothers jumping on in. We got my main man, Coach Sean. And before he goes, another person just jumped in here too. it's a whole Alabama show, so we definitely gonna go in depth on these Alabama players. My main man Jay is in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, fellas? I'm on my phone right now, so I'm on my way home right now, so I can hopefully jump on the PC here. But what's going on?
Oh
What up,
man,
Jay? What up,
man,
Jay?
you know, man, talking about this drama in this NFL draft.
Oh, don't get me started, man. I know you know what, this
Oh,
is
we
what
saving that for the last.
Bransky, when you give me the opportunity, man, I'm gonna give everybody what they want. I know a lot of people are asking me about it. I'm gonna do something as soon as we're done with this, but I'm pissed. I'm very pissed off because I think what we witnessed the last 3 nights is just it's egregious. It's egregious.
Oh yeah, man. I wanted to say that one for last because I know when we tackle that subject, we're gonna tackle that subject. We're gonna get a real, it is definitely unbiased for real. It's just real talk. But definitely appreciate everybody coming in the house. But we just talking about winners and losers of the draft so far. But we just talking about teams. The next one gonna be players that you think were the biggest winners and losers in the draft. So Coach Sean, my man, 100 grand. What are your winners and losers in this draft?
Players or teams?
Oh, team. My fault.
Man, you guys hit the nail on the head, bro. My squad, I'm disgusted, bro. I'm disgusted. And, man, I go on record. I might be the only one to tell y'all this. I've never, and you can look me up 4 or 5 years ago saying the same thing. I've never been a big Mike Tomlin fan. Just me. And the reason why I say that is because he's always hella conservative. Play defense, you can win. Well, not in 2025, man. You got to score. You got to be able to score, man. You got to be able to score. The bottom line is look at the past Super Bowl champions, man. These guys had great offenses. Great offenses. Okay, defenses. Okay. But their offenses were great. To hang your hat on Mason damn Rudolph is utterly ridiculous, right? And to let the powers that be shake you out of drafting Shedeur or Jalen, I don't care. Just tells you that it's time to go, man. It's time for a change. It's time to get some new young blood. And I don't want to hear that about he been making the playoffs every year. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That ain't the status quo for the Steelers to make the playoffs. No. If we were the Tennessee Titans, maybe so. Nah, man. Nah, he got this one wrong. The administration, the owners, all of them got this wrong. We can no longer win with just defense in the NFL, man. Not long as you got people like Jaden Daniels running around that thing, right? The NFL is turning into an offensive league. The rules help the offense. I mean, man, it's a passing league, man. You got to be able to score with these people. And the offense that you are going to put on the field is utterly ridiculous. So the biggest loser for me is the Steelers, without a shadow of a doubt. If I had to pick a winner, I like what the Denver Broncos did. These guys got Pat Surtain on one side and the Texas Doak Thorpe, whatever it is, winner on the other side. I like what the Denver Broncos did with every draft pick they picked. Sean Payton really put his foot in this one. I like what the Denver Broncos did. Go look at their draft. I mean, that secondary is going to be outstanding in a year or so. So yeah, I like what the Seattle Seahawks did with Jalen too. It's a good system. It's a system I think he can run. He don't have to play right away. And if he's anywhere near as good as Jalen Miro can be, sure, they got Andy Dalton, not Andy Dalton, the USC kid. What's his name?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold signed, right? But Jalen Miro, it's clear that he won't have a problem unseating this dude if he play well. So yeah, I think the biggest winners are the Broncos and Seahawks. The biggest losers is definitely the Steelers.
Yeah, man. I think just because, and just quickly before I let James go, just seeing like them just constantly, I was like, okay, you missed on them at 21. You got a good D tackle. I understand that. I understand you want to get more physical and all that. but it was like chance after chance after chance after chance, and you just kept passing them up. And then when you ultimately got a quarterback, you go draft Will Howard
Will Howard, bro.
of all the people, and you think that, to be honest, I think that's Mason Rudolph Jr., but God bless him. That's why I said Mike Tomlin is on the clock. I guarantee you, and shout out to my cousin Carl, who is a big time Steelers fan. Oh, he was cussing up a storm. Because after every pick, I felt like I got a phone call. Like, what the hell are they doing? And so he's on the clock right now, man. But Jance, what's your thought on well, who are your biggest winners and losers team wise?
I'm gonna give it to the Patriots. I thought the Patriots did a really, really good job with their draft, and I hate to say it because they're within my division, but the Patriots did a really, really good job getting. I mean, they needed protection for Drake May because that offensive line is absolutely egregious, and so to get Will Campbell, try to get some sort of sustainability there, that's really, really good. But getting Braden Swinton in the 5th round is insane to me. I had him as a 2nd to 3rd round pick. He's a really, really good pass rusher, just not really a good run defender. But for him to slide all the way to day 3, I had him as he was a top 100 player to me. I thought that was a hell of a steal. But no, the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots killed it. They had a really, really good draft. Got to give them a lot of credit for that. The Chiefs, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the Chiefs probably had the best draft of the night. I hate to say it. The fact that they got Norman Lott. Arguably, from an advanced metric standpoint, he's one of the best pressurized defensive tackles in the last 15 years. Even though he's more of a limited player because Tennessee runs a heavy rotation within their defensive line, but that is a gap shooter. Like you're talking about a gap shooter that can play his natural position at 3 tech, playing right next to Chris Jones, and you drafted that early in the 2nd round, and then you got Noah Williams, who is one of the best press man cover corners, who also can play zone and is a playmaker. That's your L'Jarius Sneed replacement, and that's going to be your CB2 playing right opposite of Trent McDuffie. That was a hell of a steal. Jalen Royals was one of the best receivers when it comes to when it comes to yak yardage. That's a top 100 player that you got in the back end of the 4th round. Not to mention too, Patrick Mahomes does better with receivers that specialize in yak, and Jalen Royals was probably the best receiver in the entire class in that sort of aspect. Not to mention he's a burner, so you get that in the 4th round as well. The Chiefs killed it. The Chiefs killed it. They found their offensive tackle in Simmons, who, if he was healthy, he would have been tackle 3. You get him at literally you trade back one spot. I have no idea why the Philadelphia Eagles decided to trade up when the Chiefs had no interest of getting a. They just paid to have a linebacker. I have no idea why, but the Chiefs traded back, and you still take your tackle with getting additional draft capital, and that ended up turning into potential impact players within your team. They didn't have a bad pick the entire draft. Like every pick made sense. Every pick not only filled a need, but it also was incredible value. I got to give them a lot of credit. Um, and then you know what? I'm going to be a little biased, but I'm going to put my Buffalo Bills as a big winner. Because and now again, I understand we got a lot of these Bills fans are saying, well, Josh Allen doesn't have any help and he doesn't have any receivers. Well, you know what? Our offense wasn't the reason why we lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, Dalton Kincaid dropped the pass. Yes, Josh Allen missed Khalil Shakir when he had to find Diggs underneath. But you know what? Our defense gave up 32 points and 27 points in those games. I thought we were supposed to have an elite defense. I thought we were supposed to have a defensive guru in Sean McDermott, who ends up looking like Pete Golden in these playoff games, running the most stupidest stupidest decisions from a schematic standpoint that we've seen. We give up 27 points to Joe Burrow. At some point, what does this defense have to take some accountability? But no, Bills fans want to try to get a receiver. Bills fans want to try to get let's just get Josh Allen more help, like he didn't have to find Diggs for 5 years as his number 1 receiver. So I love the fact how this was a defensive oriented draft. You got Deion Walker, you got TJ Sanders, you needed more athleticism and size in that defensive line, and then you went out there and got Maxwell Hairsteen, which I'm pissed because we should have got Trey Amos. Trey Amos would have fit this defense more perfectly, but whatever, it is what it is. We got Maxwell Hairsteen, which again is a 4.28 speed, zone coverage, off man sort of guy. So not going to be mad at that because you pair that off with Christian Benford. But no, I mean, we got depth in the secondary with Dorian Strong and Jordan Hancock, who's who's like, again, not a lot of you guys are not going to know who this player is, but he's like Cam Lewis, a very versatile defender who can play 3 different positions. You needed to get younger. You needed to get more size and more athleticism. And in order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buccaneers showed you the formula. You needed to be faster, more athletic, have bigger size, and more importantly, you need depth in the secondary. Everybody wants to talk about the front 7 for the Buccaneers and the Eagles. What they don't talk about is their secondary units and how they were able to stall that receiving core, which allowed time to make to get pressure on Mahomes. And we got it. I feel like we have a lot of that youth. Can't say that we're a better team, but we are a much more talented and deeper team defensively. Not to mention, too, we also got Landon Jackson. And Coach Sean, I told you that Alabama game where Caden Proctor gave up 4 sacks, that was I knew that he was going to be a Bill after that game, which I was pissed off about. Thanks a lot, Caden Proctor, for giving us him, to making us a Buffalo Bills believer. It confirmed that, there were 3 scouts at that game. So, appreciate it. But still, Landon Jackson adds depth. He's prototypical size for what a Bills end was, because we got 3 dudes who are 6'6". I definitely thought we were huge winners. The Seahawks, real quick, Nick and Mawari and getting Gray Zabel was also really, really good value. And then I probably would say that, you know what? No, I'm not gonna say the Giants. That would be the kind of the easier decision. Losers, the Jaguars. The Jaguars were big losers in this. Because let's be honest here, guys, the Jaguars are going to be right back in this position next year. They don't have the talent, they don't have the depth to win 4 to 5 games. Yes, you got Travis Hunter, and yes, he's going to play 2 different positions. That makes absolute, that's phenomenal. That's great and all. But the Jaguars confirmed that he's going to play little corner, and he's going to be a full-time receiver. So, yes, I mean, your offensive line still stinks. You didn't get you didn't get that tackle to protect your quarterback. Your defense and the secondary. I mean, if Travis Hunter's going to play little corner there, I just like this team is still full of holes. Travis Hunter. I mean, Trevor Lawrence may not be the answer, and so next year, you trade your 1st round pick, your 2nd round pick, where you may be in the same position with the Cleveland Browns. I don't know about this. That's a bad move. And then I would probably say, I wouldn't say the Falcons. I think the Falcons, I actually like the 2 picks they had. I do hate the fact how they traded away their 1st round pick to move up all the way to that spot. But no, the Jaguars are big losers in this.
Yeah, man. And just close out on this. Because I know I didn't get my winners and losers. It's just plain and simple for losers. It was the Saints easily for me. I like the Kevin Banks pick, but everything else after that, y'all already know how that went. For us, I think we was a little winner. We only had 5 draft picks, so I'm not gonna say we'll win. I just love that we got Trey Amos. I couldn't be more excited. I was like, wow. Because I thought, like James said, I thought they were going to take him at that spot too. But we got Trey Amos. I didn't like the Conley pick at first because I thought we was going to get Jahad Campbell because he was right there. That was just me being a homer, and we needed a linebacker. But we did right by getting Conley because clearly the Eagles are just loading up on that line even more, and we're going to need somebody to block Jaden Daniels because he's going to be running for his life if we can't stop those guys. But I think the biggest winner is that's why I say I'm not giving the Cleveland Browns too much credit. But they did do matter of fact, they did do good outside of the Shedeur thing because I don't know what took them so long to do that in the first place. But I think the Eagles are one of the biggest winners because they get Jahad Campbell where they get him at the rich just got richer. They only just load up and get Smile Munden back there too. I was like, God, dog, Smile Munden is still in the draft. Just landed to him too. So definitely big winners for those guys overall. So, but
can I say something to Coach Jay real quick?
No, go ahead, please.
Coach Jay, listen to this, man. Derek Harmon, 1st round. Okay, decent defensive tackle. I got respect for him, right? Played horrible in the beginning of the season. To me, played pretty well down the stretch. Cool, got it. Running back, Caleb Johnson, another Najee, might be a little faster than Najee. You know what I mean? Catch the ball. Najee can catch the ball. Edge, Jack Sawyer, a cat that to me played better with his hand in the dirt than he do standing up. Defensive tackle, Yaya Black, who is hella lazy to me. Just to me. I don't know. What do I know though, right? You know what I'm saying? Will Howard in the damn 6th round. Carson Bruner, I don't even know who that is. And cornerback Dante Kent, who's 5'9", not 5'10", really. You know what I mean? So all these defensive guys, right? Some may not even, and a quarterback in the 6th round and a running back who's pretty much Najee number 2. We lost. That is the worst draft we've had in 5 years, man.
Yeah, the fact that you know what, I don't know. Like, who is Mason Rudolph going to be the starting quarterback?
It seems that way.
Oh my
unless
god!
You know what I'm saying?
Aaron, they really trying to bank on Aaron Rodgers coming up. I said if you're going to get Aaron Rodgers, at least get your quarterback for the future.
It's like, I guess Jaden Warren is going to be our starter. Everybody's so excited about that, but I'm of the mindset that the second string back who come in on 3rd down and make a big play is always the most popular guy until he starts, till everybody got film on you now. Then we're going to see what you're about. Listen to the Denver Broncos. They got Jade Barron.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He going to be opposite Patrick Surtain. You know what I'm saying? They got RJ Harvey, the running back out of Central Florida, who I liked, by the way, who I talked about on another video here a couple months ago. That kid can play. You know what I'm saying? Kid is, you know, I like that kid. He'll take it to the house on you. If you're going to get a running back, get one that can take it to the house, man. Pat Bryant, wide receiver from Illinois. Okay, guy. Was more of a possession guy. Savion Jones, though, defensive for LSU. A dog, man. This the Denver Broncos. Then they got Q-Rob. You know what I'm saying? Then they got Jeremy Crawshaw, the punter from Florida, who was booming 58-yard punts, you know, all year long. I mean, that's just Caleb Lohner, tight end from Utah, who catch everything and block. One of the best tight ends in the country. The Broncos cleaned house, man. And they got logical draft picks of need. They didn't just draft the best player on the board and sticking him in there. It still is. I predict this will be Mike Tomlin's last year. That's just what I predict. They screwed themselves when they picked Kenny Pickett 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? He on his 3rd team now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's over with for us.
Like transfer portal.
Yeah, man. It's definitely bad out there for real. But only time will tell. We're gonna see. We're gonna definitely see.
I think Mike Tomlin sealed his fate when he hired Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
But Denver only has a grade B+ on their draft grade. So
don't trust
they have a really good grade. I mean, a really good draft, but according to the grades, it's not a really good draft. It's a bad draft.
I love it though. I love it, you know, because that other corner used to get picked on, whoever that was, 24. I can't remember his number, whoever it was. But
yeah,
to get that kid and put him opposite Pat, it's crazy.
And also, before we move on, just want to give a shout out to Lynn for the T-shirt, Stephen Lewis Jr. T-shirt.
Oh man, we should have told me I put mine on.
Oh yeah, man. I meant to test that out too. My bad. Definitely shout out to Lynn for the T-shirts. Everybody pretty much up here has one. So definitely appreciate that, Lynn. And I know you guys having the experience. I seen you got pictures with Ryan Williams and Jalen Barkway. So I know he having the time of his life. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Lynn. But man, I know the next thing I wanted to tackle. Which one of these players, instead of just like who's the winners in this draft, player-wise, like which one of these guys do you see starting day one? And I know I'm gonna let you go first, Coach Sean, because I know who you're going to pick. And it's so obvious. I don't want nobody else to make your pick for you. But out of all these guys that got drafted, who do you see making an instant impact day one and starting day one?
I'm gonna go a little bit off script for this, man. I could easily go with the obvious pick, who I think, right? But that would be obvious, Coach Sean, right? You know, I'm gonna go on the defense side of the ball, man. I'm gonna go Jade Barron, the kid I just spoke about for the Denver Broncos. Pat is probably the top corner in the league. They got 2 nice safeties. That other corner spot though was always their Achilles heel. I'm gonna go Jade Barron, man. This kid, I really was on this kid late, right? Used to hear the name, but just never really got across to seeing him play for real till they started playing Georgia and, late in the season. And I was very impressed with that kid, man. Very impressed with that kid at Texas, man. Very, very impressed with him. Kid can play. He's fast, run a 4.39. Wiry. I think he's gonna really, I believe he'll start opposite Pat Surtain. I really do.
Yeah, I think they was even talking about nickel. Like he can possibly play that nickel position. So
We want Riley Moss to play on the outside.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so he'll be in the nickel and he'll be an all pro. That's I think he's a better nickel than an all pro than a boundary. He'll be an all pro.
Mm-hmm. But
Jaquan
since you
McMillan.
go ahead, Jay, man, go ahead and give out yours.
Amarian Hampton.
Mm.
And I'm already gonna, I'm already gonna book it. I think he's gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I know a lot of people will go with Genty, but the Raiders' offensive line sucks. And so, like I said, the fact that they came out and said that they want him to break Eric Dickerson's record, they're gonna kill this kid. They're gonna kill him. I hope that they don't really give him a lot of carries. Geno Smith does operate, especially because when you have that good back and when you have a good running game. I mean, Geno Smith operates best off of play action a lot, and they got it Jack Beck. So hopefully he adds some more, some sort of receiving, something, because honestly, their receivers are okay, right? It's okay, but it's a lot of slot guys, a lot of intermediate guys, and then there's Brock Bowers, who's like their do-it-all player. But the Chargers' offensive line is top 5 in the league. That's why I think I got them. You add more of a running game. Unfortunately, I just think Najee Harris is not going to win the job. I think again, when you draft a running back in the first round, you're not drafting him to be a backup. He's going to start. He's just more explosive. He's faster. And he offers more, and he offers the exact same ability that Najee also does. So Najee will be, he'll be more of a rotational back, but if J.K. Dobbins could kind of resurrect his career behind that offensive line, the exact same thing is going to happen. You add Mekhi Becton, who's a mauler. Their offensive line is literally full of hogs. It's literally full of maulers. And so Amari and Hampton, I think that man is going to have a really, really good season. I expect at least 1,000 yards, but I think Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to him.
And I want to give a shout out to Larry. Shout out to Larry in the chat, man. He said defensive and offensive rookie of the year. So yeah, you can give your day one starters, instant impact players, and also give your early predictions on defensive and offensive rookie of the years too. So good question on that, Larry. This is why I love y'all in the chat, man. Just say it. Oh. I promise you. But
defensive.
But I'll come back to y'all because I know it was just like spur the moment. Unless Coach Sean, you already know what you want. Offense, who you think offensive player of the year, offensive and defensive player for rookie of the year, who you think is going to be?
Defense. With being he playing with Pat, he probably gonna get a lot of pay. I either go, like I said, I either go Jadon Barron or I go Abdul Carter. I think Abdul Carter is gonna be a plug and play kid. I think that kid I think he gonna pop right onto the scene, man. I think offense, I would probably have to go with the team he went to late like that. I'll probably go Matthew Golden, wide receiver.
Hey man, I believe Matthew Golden is going to star in Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah, I think he has a potential to overcome. They have some good young receivers, but they've all been hurt all the time. They always hurt, all of them. Romeo, the Romeo kid, the tall, light-skinned kid, they all get hurt.
Yeah,
I think Matthew Golden has an opportunity to go in there and be number one if he just be himself and have a big year with the quarterback that the Green Bay Packers have.
And that was my pick, Sean.
Yeah, facts.
My day one player was Matthew Golden because I know with Jordan Love the way he loved to sling the ball, and then that sub 4.3 speed that he showcased in the draft, that dude gonna come out the gate burning.
It's a whole fact.
It's gonna be fun to play over there in Green Bay, man. Mm-hmm. So I actually picked Matthew Golden myself, be offensive rookie of the year because he can get a whole lot of touches. That's and in the NFC North, there's not really that many lockdown corners in the NFC North. and then you play against team like out there like Detroit, and Detroit give up a lot in the passing game. They really stopped on defense, but they'll give you up a lot in the passing game. They'll bend, but a lot of time they won't break. But that type of speed that Matthew Golden come with, I think it's more like J-Mo for Detroit. Once he get going, man, it's hard to keep up with him. So I actually had picked Matthew Golden as my offensive guy, man. Like that's my most impactful player and my offensive rookie of the year at the same time. And I also think that I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna have to go with Abdul Carter because the Giants need so much defense, man. And that guy is such a freak that you can't you can't go wrong with saying Abdul Carter. I was thinking about Jahan Campbell, but the the Eagles play defense, he may get overshadowed for the way they play defense on the front. But Abdul Carter is on the front line, man, and he probably the most explosive pass rusher in this game or in this draft. So I think he gonna be the defensive rookie of the year, man. But I really like that dude, man. I swear to God. I'm so glad that Cleveland was foolish enough to trade out and then didn't take him. Well, that was an extra stupid. You trade out, you had him in your sight, man. Just make the Giants, just make the Giants trade. I don't pass up on Abdul Carter. I don't know what the hell Cleveland did. Somebody should shoot their ass in the foot. I mean that draft day crap movie they got. I think they done the same thing on the draft day movie that they did in real life. Because some of those movies they made on draft day were really stupid, and the movie they made in real life were really damn stupid. I do not pass up on Abdul Carter.
Facts.
Period. Neither one of those two I'm passing up on. You couldn't trade me that number 2 spot. Never. I don't give a damn. You gave me 5 first-round picks. I need one of those 2 players to just anchor my franchise, man. Like those are franchise-saving type damn players. Those are job-saving players. Like you draft one of those 2 as an executive, hell, you still got a job 3 years from now because those 2 can't miss product. So yeah, man, it'd be Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, but Abdul Carter is the safest bet, being that now that Jacksonville bad, Travis Hunter more on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I felt like before I go to John, they could have got Abdul Carter and Sheduer all in one. I think I know Mason Graham probably be stud too on that because he's not no scrub at all. He's that dude in college, and hopefully I see the same thing that I seen at Michigan in the NFL. Hopefully he's that guy too. But Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett coming out off on them edges, watch out, man. That would have been fun to see because I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is like that at all. I think he's just overrated. Thought he was overrated in college.
Soft.
Then he definitely overrated in the league. But hey, what do I know? John.
Soft, man. Boy, soft.
So specifically, are we only talking rookie of the year for offense or offense?
Oh,
defense?
both.
So,
You can give me both.
I mean, well, let me just say this. So I got to give a shout out to Aaron Rodgers holding the Steelers hostage now to getting as much money as he wants because that's exactly what just happened. So hats off to Mike Tomlin and that camp for doing that. The winner specifically in people has to be Tyler Shuck. I mean, who would have imagined him going in the second round in that spot? I don't know really if there's a bigger winner in this draft. I'm not saying he's going to do anything. I'm saying specifically him winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my offensive rookie of the year, I have just like Jansen, Amari and Hampton. Look, if there's one thing we know about Jim Harbaugh, no matter where he coaches, what is predicated him handing off the ball to the running back. He always has, a stable of running backs, and specifically running back number 1 is going to be, if he's not a monster, he's going to turn into a monster. Amari and Hampton, I think, is going to be offensive rookie of the year. Now, defense, I'm going to say Abdul Carter, but who I think is going to make the biggest impact that probably is going to be overshadowed because of his position is going to be safety that Seattle got, Nick Amonawari. I think him with Mike McDaniels being a downhill safety, right, in that conference, it's going to be vastly overshadowed, in my opinion, what he brings to Seattle. I think he was a top 20 pick, maybe even top 15 pick, in all honesty, what he brings to Seattle. And in specifically my loser, Quinn Ewers, just a couple of years ago, we were talking about a lock top 5 pick in the NFL draft, right? When he went to Ohio State, banked, got his NIL deal money for his autograph deal, and went down to Texas. Everybody had this dude locked, and it didn't work out so well. And Will Johnson, another loser who I think fell to the second round, probably a top 10 pick as far as ability, right? So,
well, I think it was just his injury, like his medical came back. But if they can somehow, if he can play 10 years in this league, the Cardinals got probably the steal of the draft. They probably did. Because if we talking about a guy that was projected to be a top 5 guy in the draft, if that medical comes out, he's good. He's easily no farther than top 10. But that's crazy. Just want to look at a few people. Larry say like Carter and Genty. I like that. I think Abdul Carter's gonna be one of them ones. He said he wanted the Ravens to get the guy out of South Carolina. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
No, he's probably Amenemori. Amenemori. Yeah,
but he is a thumper, and they projected him to us at 29. So it's seeing what he does on the field, all the measurables, the speed, the power, and everything. Like, yeah,
he loves contact. That man will thump you.
And they trying to build up another Legion of Boom up there in Seattle with him. Then you already got I forgot my guy's name. I know Witherspoon. What's my guy's name on the other end? One of y'all help me. The other guy on the other end.
Woolen.
You said who?
Tyreek Woolen.
Oh yeah, Woolen. But yeah, man, he 6'4" and he's a dog too, and he converted over there to from wide receiver to cornerback. So yeah, they definitely got a winner out there. But for me, I'm gonna say I think defensive player. I think most of us gonna go with Abdul Carter. I expect them to be in a bunch of shootouts. Well, not even really. They're just gonna be trash on offense anyway. So they're gonna have to depend on that defense a lot. And Abdul Carter is gonna definitely disrupt that defense a lot. But offensive wise, I would just say, because I know they're gonna get better, it could be Cam Ward, because I feel like they're gonna get better quarterback play than what they've been getting. Because Mason Rudolph went down to Tennessee and just got worse. I don't know how you get worse, and then you come back to the Steelers and they feel like he's just a changed man. I don't know. They about to have a resurgence, but Cam Ward can be one. And I'll just say Cam Ward right now, because I don't really see anybody else making a big impact like he can possibly make. Maybe Travis, depending on, can Travis win defensive and offensive rookie of the year? That would be impressive, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to play both sides like he's been playing in college. So,
can I say something to the haters, Brinsky?
Oh, please go.
We had a lot of haters, and you can just tell it's people that don't really know what they're doing. They just figured it'd be a time to say something to Alabama. I had so many people in my inbox, bro. Shout out to Mimi. What's up, Mimi? Good to see you, girl. People like Ohio State had more players drafted double than Alabama. Alabama falling off. Look, man, let me explain really quickly to the people in the back. Alabama only had 9 draft eligible real positions, not unless you want to count the long snapper, right? They only had 9 really for real draft eligible people. 7 of the 9 got drafted. The punter didn't get drafted. He signed a free agent contract. CJ Dupree didn't get drafted. He signed a free agent contract. The long snapper signed a free agent contract. All 7 of the top positions all got drafted. The reason we only had 7 to get drafted is because everybody came back to school. We didn't have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people like you guys did that were coming out. Most of our people, like Tim Keenan, stayed. Keon Sapp stayed. Bray Hubbard stayed. I mean, he think he's just a junior anyway. But several of our, Jeremy Bernard stayed. You know, the Hulk right side stayed. Caden was a bit, yeah. All these kids who could have came out all came back to Alabama. None of them got in the portal. Nobody transferred. That's why we didn't have a lot of people eligible to get drafted, because we didn't have a lot of people that left school. Right? It's not rocket science, bro. Ohio State had a gang of seniors, gang of third-year players, gang of fourth-year players, and 1 5th year in the safety. Right? We did not. We had a very young team. That's why most of our players are still at Bama. Carry on.
It's just that simple, man. And
just that simple.
And also, what Dwight said, he hit where I was about to go. The money came back. I believe the money would have been a first round draft pick easily, but he's definitely gonna be a shoe fire in for the first round next year. Dante Lawson, I know he hurt, so it's good for him to come back, try to get that draft stock up, and Justin Jefferson coming back too. So all major big picker guys that came back. So the reason why I picked Ohio State to win last year, because they brought back all those guys. Yes. And then you add on to a Caleb Downs and a Jeremiah Smith, and then you get a Quinshon Judkins. That's the reason why I projected them to win day one, because of all that came in. But it's going to be a totally different team this year. So shout out to all the haters. Like they say, if you ain't popping, you ain't got no haters. So you know how the game go.
Fact. I just couldn't believe that people don't understand that. That was falling off. They only had, do you not understand? We didn't have that many seniors. We didn't have that many people that was even eligible to go to the draft. And the ones we did all came back to Alabama. So, you know.
Yeah. Common sense ain't common, Coach Sean. I think we understand that a long time ago.
Facts.
But who you guys think your most surprising picks and your biggest reaches, like it's like, why they draft this guy? And like, ooh, they got him. Anybody can start on this.
I think I can speak for everybody and answer this question really easily. Tyler I guess that's how you say his name. Rhymes Tyler with dough.
Shuck, I believe.
It spelled like it's rhymed with dough. Tyler Show, is that it?
Yeah, it's weird. They say it Shuck, but it looks
Shuck?
like Shough, I believe is how you spell it.
It looks like dough. Tyler Show, but it's Shuck.
But I think they say it Shuck.
Well, to pick 25-year-old Tyler Shuck,
soon to be 26.
Facts. To pick him where they picked him at was absolutely and utterly mind-blowing. Right? Bro, I learned, I've been knowing how the NFL was, but I really saw how it was this past draft, bro. That, I don't even know what to say about that pick, bro. I really don't. This is a Brandon Whedon-esque pick to me, So, okay, that to me was the most shocking pick. Where they picked him at was the most shocking thing for me.
And before the next person go, one of my guys that I always speak highly of is in the chat. One of my closest friends and my lawyer at the same time. My dog Arlon in the building, man. I know he busy getting dudes out of jail every day. So shout out to my guy, man. Appreciate you for everything that you done and doing, bro. It's all love over here. That's my boy right there.
Salute.
I ain't even gonna go on that part because I believe when it comes to like reaches, yeah, that was definitely mine
Yeah,
too.
that was,
I'm not even about to waste my time. You said
Yeah.
exactly how I felt about that. So, but surprise. Well, is that a surprise or? Well, would you consider that a reach or a surprise? Maybe a
Both.
little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of both. Well, anybody got a surprise or a reach or anything?
I got to, in my
Man,
opinion.
Hold on real quick, John. That
Go
was a slap in the effing face, Brinsky. Let's just be honest. You go ahead, John.
Hey man, good. Tell the truth, shame the devil, man.
Not a popular one, but Isaac Tisla, the Arkansas wide receiver that went 3rd round to Detroit. Detroit loved the first 2 picks. When they picked him up, this dude to me, I watched him play at Arkansas. My dad's a huge Arkansas fan, and even he was scratching his head. In my opinion, his grade was terrible. So all across the board, to me, Detroit, I don't know what the hell Dan Campbell was doing in the 3rd round. He's either taking a shit or something and not paying attention to the board. But yeah, I think he walked out of that room and said, "We'll take that dude," threw a dart against the board, and that was it.
Wow. Say how you really feel.
I mean, really, like I said, Dan Campbell's usually spot on. And if this dude comes out and becomes another J-Mo and replaces him, then I guess I'll be eating my words on here because he's like 6'3" or 6'4", and he's a speedster guy, but he not good hands, not good route running. I mean, I don't know. So we'll see.
I guess they saying they can work with him, but
Yeah.
and that goes with Tyler Shook too. If Tyler Shook comes out here and light it up,
oh God,
trust me, I can promise you, everybody on here will apologize and say, "Hey man, we was wrong," because we know most places won't admit that they wrote wrong. They'll just move the goalpost and move the goalpost some more. We'll just be the first ones to admit we were wrong. We done
But
it
I doubt
before,
we're gonna have to do that shit, Brinsky.
huh?
I doubt we're gonna have to do that shit.
But that's the thing. I highly doubt it. If I'm willing to bet the house on it, I'm willing to bet the house on it. We don't have to worry about that. But
I give you a big one here, man. Let me tell you mine. When I was watching the draft, it was day 3. I kept watching. I kept seeing Pittsburgh pick up guys. 3rd round, they got a running back. I said, why? Sheduer standing still in there. And you take a running back. I'm like, what the fuck? Pittsburgh. Then we roll around 4th round. I'm looking like you get Jack Sawyer come out the edge. Okay, he made a lot of plays for Ohio State. I can understand that. But Shedeur still in there. And then you turn around in the 5th round. After you pass all those, you get a damn defensive tackle who nobody knows how to pronounce his first name. What the hell he did at our.
And he played stand up straight. And he played high, Coach Carl.
Yeah.
Get pushed around. And then you let somebody trade in front of you to take Shedeur, and then you turn around and pick that guy. And then you get in the 6th round, and now looking like you take Will Howard. So Will Howard was high on your draft enough to pass up on Shedeur Sanders 4 times. That was my old what the hell moment. Like Mike Tomlin, I don't know if he have a voice in Pittsburgh anymore, but if he had a voice in Pittsburgh and he passed up on Shedeur 3 times, his ass should quit. Like he literally should just walk away from football because the decision he made really was a smart decision. The guy threw for 4,000 plus yards, man, with an offensive line that couldn't block air. Even though he had talented receivers, he just didn't have an offensive line that can block air. And he still put up over 4,000 yards. And then you turn around and pick Will Howard. Will Howard had a loaded roster, and he still sucked. Like he was the reason why they lost 2 games because he sucked so bad. Then you draft Tyler Shook. Tyler Shook. New Orleans Saints. Thank you, New Orleans, because in the NFC South, we don't have to worry about this guy because he can't complete a pass 3 yards down the field. He's a terrible damn blitz picker. He's afraid of pressure. And clearly, they just stupid as he is. Like, but we happy in Atlanta, even though our team sucks right now. But hell, we'll beat New Orleans this year. Thank God. Finally, we get them.
Yeah, and I didn't get it. I just seen your message in the chat. I didn't get that.
I got it. I'm gonna read it
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Coach J. Before Coach J, I want Coach J to respond to this. We talked about a while ago. It's a lot of people talking about how Alabama didn't have many players drafted, and I explained briefly why we didn't have a lot of people. We just didn't have a lot of people. These are the kids that Piano Man just sent to me on a list from Mike Rodak that are eligible for the 2026 draft next year. They'll be eligible to leave. Some of them probably won't leave, but they'll be eligible to get. If they have a good year, they'll leave. Caden Proctor, LT Overton, Damani Jackson, Deontay Lawson, Jeremy Bernard, Keon Sabb, Parker Brailsford, Tim Keenan, James Smith, Jaden Roberts, Ty Simpson, if he have a great season, Isaiah Horton, Quay Russaw, Bray Hubbard, Jam Miller, Justin Jefferson, Deshaun Jones, Geno Vandermark, Josh Cuevas, Cam Dewberry, Nakai Hill Green, Ja Moran Lathan, Draylon Washington, the running back, and the punter, Blake Dowd. I don't even know how many that is, but now you see what that furthers my point of what we was trying to say. We didn't have a lot of people coming out, brother. They're all still on the roster, and that's why we will contend for that thing this year. That's a fact.
And just point out, too, before we, because I know one thing we definitely got to tackle on, because we all Alabama guys definitely got to tackle. Yeah, got to get your guys' thoughts on the Alabama guys. So, but Larry asked a question about Isaiah Bond. Why I think he fell in the draft. Only reason I believe he fell out the draft is because the sexual allegations that came out about him. Because I'm not like most Bama fans. Some people seen him leave. I understand, like, man, it's a different coach and all that. I wasn't upset about it. And of course, what he done, like, is a legendary play that lives on in Alabama forever. So I appreciate what he done, but I just think that coming out 2 weeks before the draft, that's definitely going to hurt you, because it's going to be like, can you play? Are you going to play? Do we need to waste a draft pick on you? So it's just something like that. And I just advise everybody, just wait for the facts to come out and let the due process play out.
And he didn't have a great combine either. But
yeah,
facts.
Yeah, so. But I still believe it was still projected he'll get drafted. But at the same time, in this draft, I don't know what was going to happen, because a lot of guys were projected to go somewhere and it didn't get drafted, like a Kobe Bryant. My fault, James. Go ahead.
We were so the Bills were really high on him. They brought him in 3 times. Like, even this was post combine. They really liked a player like him until all of a sudden here comes the allegations, which didn't really deter them. But then they hired a private investigator. Once they hired the private investigator to look into it, I guess they got their information. They did not like what they found. And then there's the leak photos of, I guess, the exchange between himself and another female, where I guess he's, trying to kind of pay her off to not say anything. And so once those leaks kind of came to public, I think that's probably what affected it. That's probably what they found out. And so, again, I don't know. I'm not going to get that deep into it. But that did not hurt. Like, he didn't put himself in he didn't put himself in the best situation. Whoever's the representative as part of his team should be fired, or should not be a part of his camp anymore, because that also could just be him just acting on himself and saying to himself, like, man, listen, I don't want to deal with this. This is complete BS. But I don't know. Like, we got to wait for all the facts to kind of come out. It is a civil suit. I don't think it's a criminal suit, but it's more civil. But yeah, I mean, this is like, for college athletes, man, you got to be careful who you mess with. You got to be careful who you mess with, who you get entangled with, and This is why, it's just, unfortunately, apparently this happened around in Frisco, Texas, but so it was off campus. But this is just one of those situations, man, where this is what me and Coach Sean was talking about. This is some of the effects of NIL, where you give these kids a little bit too much money, you give them the sponsorship deals, the Lamborghinis, all that type of stuff, and here you are, again, here you are kind of doing the stuff that you're kind of doing. So like, this is one of the negatives when you're giving 17, 18, 19-year-old kids money. But no excuse. No excuse. He's got to put himself in a better situation. Unfortunately, it just happened to him. But we got to wait for all the facts to kind of come up. But yeah, there were teams. I can definitely speak up for the Bills. They were highly interested in him to a point where I thought they were going to draft him. But yeah, he went to go undrafted like that, and no team was able to pick him up. Yeah, that's a really, really bad case for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
problem
my
is-
fault, Carl. Go ahead.
problem is with Isaiah Bond case, man. Even though the young lady didn't file criminal charges on him, being that it's a sexual allegation case, the state has the opportunity to pick it up at any time. So a lot of teams probably gonna be afraid of that. Even though she didn't file charges on him, the state can pick it up. So if he found guilty in a civil suit, the state will pick it up and they'll prosecute him, and then he'll end up going to prison for rape.
Yeah. So we're just gonna let everything play out. Cause I don't know too much about it. I know I need to send it to Arlon and let him just talk about it on the legal side, because he's great at that. And definitely need to have him and Ty on here to definitely go in depth on all this. So we're gonna let it play out some. Probably give maybe a month, or it could happen sooner than that, and just see how that play out. So we'll see how that go.
Bring on Shannon Sharp too.
Oh yeah, Shay Sharp.
Woof.
But yeah,
Man.
there's a lot going on. So you gotta protect yourself at all time, man. You know who you're dealing with, and if you keep those receipts. I promise you, man, just keep those receipts, because a rhyme that I live by to this day, and is one of my favorite, is Tupac rhyme. It's a lot of real G's doing time because a groupie bent the truth and told a lie.
It's a whole fact.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of brothers in jail off a lie. Now, there's some in there. There's definitely some in there that actually did it, and we ain't defending none of that. So we just want to make that super clear over here.
Facts.
But we're gonna let the facts play out. But we're gonna just talk about these Alabama players that got drafted, and then we're gonna move on to the Shedeur, and we're gonna get up out of here. So the Alabama guys that got drafted, I just go first and just knock it out quickly. Even though I hate the Dallas Cowboys, I hate them to death.
Facts.
Getting Tyler Booker, and then just seeing Michael Parsons, he was cool with the pick, but he was like, I wanted somebody more explosive. I understand that offensive guard, it's never sexy. It's never a sexy pick in nobody's draft. That's how I felt about our pick until I actually watched the tape and seen what scouts was talking about and analysts. But when I was so glad he had the opportunity to talk to Michael Parsons and Slay, and he gave out the quote of the draft, folks think that they love to play football till they come across me, and then I love to see that go the love for the game go out their eyes. And he was like, oh, we got us one. We got us a menace. So shout out to Tyler Booker, man. I just wanted to get that one out. So yeah, any one of y'all can go. It doesn't matter.
Mine for me, mine is the unsexy one, but I think this kid is going to be a better pro than he was a college player. And I think he'll be a little more than situational. Q-Rob is one of those late bloomers at Alabama. If this kid hadn't got hurt this season, I really believe he'd have been an All-American kid. It was a point in time where when he started playing full-time, he could not be blocked. Mm-hmm. This kid couldn't be blocked. Q-Rob was having a great season, man. He started playing the run better. He got bigger. When this kid got to Alabama, he was only about 220, 210. You know what I mean? He was real lanky, tall. Kid put on about 30 pounds in the course of 4 years. 30 plus pounds, 40 pounds, whatever it was. I think Q-Rob is going to be, with the way the NFL is set up today with pass rushers, I think Q-Rob is going to be a better pro than he was in college. So that's my favorite pick. I love going to Denver. I love being in there with Pat. The back end sold up. It's going to give him an opportunity to really rush the passer. Sean Payton is doing some things in Denver, man. They got a young quarterback over there, you know, who came in last year as a rookie and really did well. Blew my mind that Bo did that well. The Broncos are going to be somebody to deal with, just like the Texans in the future. They got a lot of people still under contract, a lot of young kids on that roster that's going to be there for a while. And I like their draft picks, man. So for me, it's Q-Rob. I love everywhere everybody went, especially Jahai going to be with Nakobe Dean and them Georgia boys, them Bama boys on the Eagles. I'm starting to think the Eagles are Georgia, Alabama, East, I guess it is. But for me, Robbie Oots in Seattle, that's a great pick for me. I knew he was going to get drafted. That kid had a great pro day. He's a big athlete who I didn't think we utilized him enough at Alabama. But for me, Q-Rob will be mine. I really like where he went, like the defense they play, and I think he'll have a big impact once he learned the system.
Yeah, man, because like you said, man, he was on his way to being an All-American double sack. Like, bro, I believe he would have made a bit difference down the stretch. I feel like we don't lose 2 of those games.
Yeah.
Down the stretch with Alabama. But anybody else?
I'll go next, I guess. The funny one's going to be, well, the Saints did get one guy, I guess, punter James Burnip. I give him credit for that. But no, in all seriousness, this one's just purely, it seems like based on one thing. Look, Jalen Monroe to Seattle in the 3rd round. All the hate Jalen has received all year, I want him to go there, and I want him to develop and turn in and win a Super Bowl. That way we can see those same haters that were talking crap about Milroe have to come around just like they did against Hurts and have to do this all over again and see this cycle continue of just hating on the quarterback and recycling through it for no reason. But no, I'm really interested to see him in Seattle. I think they're putting something, in my opinion, pretty good together in Seattle. So yeah, other than that, and I'm really interested in Malachi Moore as well, because I know him and Branch, I believe, were in the same draft class. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or
no, you're right.
So, and I know a lot of people weren't high on Brian Branch because he got injured a lot right when he was at Alabama. Everybody talked about his versatility, his athleticism, and I know Malachi, his freshman season, he either started, I believe he started at cornerback.
I believe.
It was like star, a little bit of corner, and then obviously transitioned into safety. I'm really interested to see how they use him at the Jets. If you get in the right system, just like Brian Branch did right in Detroit, and really let his athleticism shine, do his thing. I'm really interested to see what Malachi does.
And don't look now, piggybacking off what John said really quickly. When Jalen Hurts got drafted, Carson Wentz had just signed a contract a year before that. He was supposed to be the future. Carson Wentz, and look how it ended.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it's funny that you say that too, John, before Coach Carr go. That you said Brian Branch was like injured prone.
He was
coming in, and Malachi was starting. It felt like that role switched towards the end of their careers or whatnot. But I know Malachi is definitely about to show out, man. I'm so happy for him and Burnham and all the guys. Tim Smith, just ready to see them guys ball out. But go ahead, Coach Carr.
Yeah, Malachi was on my brain, man, but I had to think about Malachi. He'd be playing behind with the guy Tony, the second out there. He just throwing safety out there, and Malachi be playing behind Tony.
Yeah.
Even though he'll have Soft Gardner, but he'll be a backup to Tony unless he could beat him out in training camp. So I was thinking about Malachi. The Jets have a really good defensive backcourt. But I switched mine to Jahai. Jahai Campbell will make the biggest impact probably and as an Alabama player aside Tyler Booker, because he's playing beside Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith, and Jahai Campbell and the Eagles linebacker core. You got 2 Mikes and a Will, or a Will, Mike, and a Sam in that defense. The way they play defense is going to be vicious. Sorry to say it, Brinston. Look out, because your quarterback will be in a whole lot of pressure, bro. it's gonna be hell to pay. Brian Robinson, Dallas. Lord Hammers. Tyler Booker gonna have to pick up one of those damn blisters coming in, and that's gonna be really, really problematic with Philadelphia. They already stocked on defense, and being that they picking up damn more and more Alabama and Georgia players, man, turning to the SEC or the damn NFL. That defense, basically the whole SEC defense. I think Jahan Cameron gonna be the biggest impact, man. And I'm so excited about him flying in the draft and falling to the Eagles because he's falling right in the hand of Miss Janice team and has a really good chance of being a rookie this year and making it back to a Super Bowl, making it to his first Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl with the Eagles. So that's gonna be probably the biggest one for me, man. I like to see Miro go out there, sit a year, learn, and then turn around and have that fallback story, man, that Jalen Hurts when he hold that trophy and he dropped that Nike commercial or that Jordan commercial with to all his haters and even to some of his supporters that still doubted him. I want to see Miro have that same time lasting impact, man. Whether he win a Super Bowl or he just win an MVP or he make it to the Super Bowl or whatnot, make it to the Pro Bowl. I just want to see that dude have success, man. And I wish him the best and the best and the best and the best out there in Seattle. And I think that he in a predicament where he may end up senior year or he may go out there and beat out a guy. Because if they trade their bag up, that means they speak volume for what what Jalen Miro seemed to be to them. So I think Miro and Cameraman gonna have a stellar career with the team that they pick.
Mm-hmm. Jance.
I agree with Jalen Miro. Well, first of all, I'm happy that he was able to get drafted. Finally was able to silence at least some of the haters, even though he's always going to have critics. Yeah, listen, I agree. Sam Darnold got a 3-year, $100 million contract. There is a void year after year 2, so this is one of those situations where if they feel like Sam Darnold isn't performing up the snub, here's a quarterback in Jalen Miro who I do believe they could use him more as like a Taysom Hill sort of role where because again, like he's too athletic to be sitting on the sidelines. Like he offers a lot of position flexibility and versatility for you not to use. And so yeah, Jalen Miro can sit there for hopefully about a year or two, sit there and develop, learn, grow. Hopefully, I mean, there's some things he needs that he can definitely. Again, I think he is meeting with Jordan Palmer, so I think he's actually going to meet with. He's been meeting with Jordan Palmer in terms of kind of fixing up his quarterback, in terms of fixing up some of his mechanics, fixing up his release or his throwing motion. So, but yeah, Jalen Miro has all the tools in the world to being a special quarterback, and so hopefully, again, he gets an opportunity very, very soon to at least showcase some of his skill sets. Or again, the Seahawks could use him more like Joe Milton did, like Joe Milton was doubted a lot, huge athletic upside, but Joe Milton he may get an opportunity with the Dallas Cowboys. He may potentially get an opportunity because why would you trade a 5th-round pick for him? Why would you trade anything for a backup quarterback when you could just always draft one? That tells me that the Cowboys in that office they see something in him and they think that pretty damn sooner or later because Dak Prescott they just paid him $60 million he can't stay healthy. Milton could potentially be the guy. So you never know in certain cases. But yeah, Jalen Miro probably has a pretty good opportunity to start in about a couple years. Malachi Moore, he is going to be playing more as a split safety, right next to Andre Cisco. Cisco's going to be more of the free, and so that's a really, really good opportunity and a very, very good spot for him. He's going to start. He's going to start for them because literally their safety depth is garbage. It's terrible, and so I think that he'll easily go out there and win that job. That's a great opportunity for him. Robbie Oots getting taken, Tim Smith getting drafted, Q Robinson getting drafted by the Broncos. I thought that was really, really big.
Facts.
And you know what? I'll say this right. I'll say this real quick for all the people that saying that Alabama is falling off because they got 7 draft picks. I know who it's mostly by. It's mostly by Auburn fans and Tennessee fans. Auburn, your team didn't even have a 1st-round draft pick again.
Again.
And
Or day 2 pick.
Or a day 2 pick. Tennessee, for the most part, despite you beating us this year, Alabama still had more draft picks than Tennessee did. So I don't know where all this hoopla is going off about. LSU is complaining, even though we just embarrassed that team by 35 points. It's just like, of course, it's the same fan bases that are always kind of hating on the Crimson Tide, the teams that we've been smoking on for since for the last 20 something years. It is what it is. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that they're just going to continue to talk crap. It is what it is. But Jahad Campbell going to the Eagles. That was Jahad going. That's again, like 21 Alabama and Georgia players combined on that roster is insane. They simply just love those particular players, and hey, like they won a championship, so who's to say that they're wrong about it? Tyler Booker going to the Cowboys was a surprise. I thought they were going a different direction, but still, Tyler Booker at least goes on a pretty good offensive line. I think he's going to go in there and start day one. The Cowboys are leaning more towards the run game, trying to lessen more pressure off of Dak Prescott. And so, yeah, I think Tyler Booker is going to be in a great situation overall. But yeah, once again, ladies and gentlemen, the 14th straight year in a row that we got a first round pick, first round pick, the 14th straight year in a row that we got at least two guys taken in the first round again. Like, this is just what we do, and ladies and gentlemen, NFLU continues to stand by 140 players and counting for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and yeah, next year you could see a lot more. Next year, you're definitely going to see a lot more. I'm probably going to project at least 10 or 11 players could potentially come out and get drafted, and 7 players getting drafted for arguably the worst team within the last 15 years. That's pretty damn impressive. And yet, some of the best teams in their some of these schools are within their best years still can't achieve what the university has done in terms of draft picks. So.
Facts.
Yeah, man. Just want to throw
Hey,
these.
Let me ask Jance a question before he get going.
No, go ahead.
Well, Jance, man, why do people feel that they should correct quarterback throwing motions? Like, the bigger issue I seen with a kid been throwing ball like that all his life, you leave him alone. You just teach him how to get rid of it faster. You start correcting their throwing motion, you end up ruining the quarterback. So that's my biggest question, man. Why do you think teams always feel they need to correct somebody's throwing motion?
Honestly, to me, I think it's more of an ego. I think it's more of an ego sort of thing with a lot of these teams. I think a lot of teams simply feel like they can be the ones to kind of fix it. Because like Josh Allen, like when he got here, they made him see a couple of quarterback specialists. They made him switch up his throwing motion. Now it worked. It worked. I think there's a video of Josh Allen kind of explaining why certain quarterbacks do it. I know Anthony Richardson. He's seeing the exact same person that Josh Allen went, and ironically enough, Jalen Murrow went to go see him. Now, I don't know if he changed his throwing motion, but Jalen Murrow went to go see him during the offseason. Honestly, to me, I think Jalen Murrow is just. I think the biggest thing with him is not really his throwing motion. Is the fact that he's just he's a built quarterback. Like you don't see a lot of quarterbacks that are built like running backs playing like with that amount of muscle mass, playing that throwing the football. I think that is kind of the thing. I think maybe you can make an argument he needs to lose a little bit of muscle mass within the upper body, but yeah, I mean teams are stubborn. Teams have egos, and they feel like, and for the most part, they feel like, hey, like if they're gonna draft a player like that, and they feel like they can coach and develop, the first thing they'll kind of go off of is to focus more on his throwing motion, and his release pattern and everything like that. Which what is what it is. I ain't a quarterback coach, so whatever.
I'll tell you this, Coach Carl. I had the privilege of seeing up close and personal, and still cool with this kid today. This guy today, he might, Phillip Rivers, who had one of the most awkward throwing motions you've ever seen, right? That's the reason why he didn't go to Auburn. Auburn, he went to NC State because they want him to change his throwing motion. I think in 2025, man, as long as you have good hip rotation, as long as you have a good solid base, you know what I mean? As long as your base is solid, you got good hip rotation, I understand what they're saying about low throwing trajectory of balls. You get them batted down in the pros. They teach that in the pros, not really in college. I get that part, but as far as throwing the football, as long as you're not getting your balls batted down, man, and you got good hip rotation, in the legs, because your throwing power, believe it or not, is not just your arm; it comes from your legs as well, as you know. And to me, if as long as that's where it's supposed to go, your hips, you turn the same way your shoulders are. You know, it's only a few quarterbacks out there that can do that Patrick Mahomes type stuff, right? I think it don't matter how you throw the ball, man. Like it's Jans hit it right on the nail on the head. It's an ego thing. You know, we're gonna change him. You know, you got hiring these coaches, you know. But at the end of the day, man, as long as you got good footwork, as long as you got good hip rotation, a good release point, it don't matter how you throw the ball. Really and truly, it don't.
Exactly. That's what I was alluding to, Coach Sean. It don't matter how you throw a football, as long as your feet is underneath your shoulders and you spin your hips. You
Yep.
can do that. You can throw a football. They changed Tim Tebow throwing angles. Tim Tebow came right out of the league. You know, he was a solid quarterback in college. He came right out of the NFL in a heartbeat. They tried to change Patrick Mahomes. He wouldn't change his throwing motion. Everybody in the world is happy that he didn't change his throwing motion because look at Patrick Mahomes now. Lamar Jackson throwing that sign on slinging. They tried to throw it. He didn't change it. He's a whole lot better passer because of his foot. He put his feet underneath his shoulders and keep his feet underneath his shoulders. He's a better passer. The bigger issue I see with quarterbacks is sometimes they overextend their feet. And once they get too far out of base, then the ball starts selling or the ball starts dying. You know, dunking and diving right in the wide receiver's feet like Miro. A lot of time Miro got all the wax because he was too wide. And then his ball will sail too high or a ball he gutter ball because he releasing too low because and not being in the perfect position. So I won't change his motions. I'll change his feet placement if it was me.
Yeah, man. Just close it out before we get there, man. I really just want to just see him. I don't want to see him play none this year. I really don't want to see him play next year either. I really want him to go the long route. If this your guy, it's no point in rushing him. Like give him like the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love treatment. Let him develop, get better, and you'll have a solid quarterback for 15 plus years. But before we go to the last topic, of course, what everybody been talking about the Sheduer Sanders situation in the NFL. Just want to, since we talked about Burnup and Malachi, just some old pictures from the Senior Bowl. Got a picture with Burnup, and he was like, "Man, you want to take a picture with me? I'm just a punter." I like, man, if you're an Alabama guy, I'm willing to take a picture with all my guys. Now you my guy. But and also Malachi, really, really solid dude. Definitely sat there and talked with me for a minute just about some things. He wish he was healthy towards the end of the year. But y'all boys go have a great career. Can't wait to see how y'all boys ball out and all this good thing. But finally, the Shedeur Sanders situation. I talked enough about this on John's channel, and then literally was on for 5 hours. Well, one of my partners, Nick, down at the Water Cooler Talk. Well, they sports now instead of podcast. Y'all go check them out. Just watching the last few rounds or whatnot, just sitting there. But I'm just gonna make this quick, man. It's no way in the hell. I just don't like the lying on this kid, man. I always tend to if somebody never gets into trouble, never causes any drama or anything, like how's all this stuff starting to come out all of a sudden out of nowhere? Like now he's a bad person. And I don't trust all the reports. I wait for facts to come out. And I'm supposed to trust the New York Giants that he came in there unprepared, but their team has been unprepared for I don't know how many years, especially under Brian Daval, who I can make a case of his team's been super unprepared for a lot of years, but he's going to be out the door anyway. A lot of these guys are going to be out the door that was in the market for a quarterback, and he is definitely one of them. So it doesn't surprise me. It will surprise me he is still the head coach of the New York Giants by the end of the year. So F them. I really mean that with the Giants. I can't stand them, especially him. Couldn't stand him at Alabama. Glad he was gone. He said the same stuff about Jalen or whatnot, and Jalen is a Super Bowl champion and MVP. Clown. You didn't do nothing with Josh Allen in with the Buffalo Bills. That's Joe Brady. I'm giving Joe Brady all that credit. Jans may think differently, but he may agree with me. I don't know. But and also you co-signed Daniel Jones. Why would I trust you as a quarterback coach? Why would anybody trust what he has to say? So I'm gonna leave it at that. But he's just a clown, and a lot of these teams are clowns. Just letting him go as far. If you want to say Cam Ward is better than him, fine. If you want to say Jackson Dart is better than him, fine. But everybody else that came after him, you would not convince me that they are better than him. Because a lot of people said, turn on the tape, they got better tape than him. F out of here. And I'm done with it. Anybody can go. However you feel.
I want to hear Jans. Just go ahead.
Oh,
Jans.
yeah. That's the main person. That's why I got it out real quick, Jans. I'm sorry.
I was going to say something and then let Jans go last, let Jans close the show because I know he got a lot to say.
Yeah.
But
That's way smarter.
me, I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to say this shit quick, fast, and in a hurry. Fuck all 31 teams that passed on him. Seriously, Cleveland, New Orleans, and the Giants, y'all can go to hell because y'all are some of the dumbest franchises in America, and it shows. That's why y'all dropped so high at the top because y'all dumb and you idiots. And it's a blessing that he didn't go to New York, honestly, because how many quarterbacks in New York besides Eli Manning actually had a damn chance of winning in New York? Nobody but Manning, and Manning was a special talent. But Manning also had special guys around him for him to even make it there because he had Plexico Burris and David Tyree catching balls on top of their head. He had Michael Strahan playing defense up there for the longest. They kept that team going. Their franchise since Eli Manning and Michael Strahan retired ain't been worth a quarter since. So it was a blessing that he didn't go because he probably would have got drafted by New York Giants and went up there and spunk up the place because the people that's in charge of there don't know how to damn coach football or damn run a franchise. And the same thing in Cleveland. Like, hell, he may be better off not being drafted early by Cleveland and being drafted late by Cleveland. Because being drafted late by Cleveland, the fan base is not expecting anything out of him. And then he had got drafted in the first round by Cleveland. Everybody been expecting him to come in and be that guy, take them roles, and get Cleveland back to the promised land. So right now, it ain't no expectations on him because he was a fifth round draft pick. And so, I mean, I'm good with that. And then New Orleans, shit, like I said earlier, I'm happy they ain't taking. That's they dumbass. Who you got now? They're gonna be able to continue with the NFC South. I mean, Bryce coming along very well. Michael Penix coming along very well, and we still got Baker Mayfield now there just destroying the NFC South in Tampa. So what you have as a quarterback besides Derek Carr, you never know what he's gonna be. He hasn't been a Pro Bowl type quarterback since you got him anyway. So I mean, shit, you should have been looking for a quarterback of the future, but you drafted a Tyler. I'm just saying, I don't even know last name. I'm just saying a Tyler. If Brinsky, can you pull up the damn thing and show his combine passes? And then you tell me, and this guy throwing the ball 12 yards in front of wide receiver with no defense in your face, and he running from air, like he was actually running. He was third in the pocket, and he ran to the side and threw a football with nobody rushing him. That's how terrible a quarterback this kid is. You go back and watch his tape at Florida State against Florida State in the ACC championship game. How he stunk up the joint. I mean, he was terrible. Watch him against Wake Forest. Wake Forest had pressure on him. He was terrible. So that's how I feel about that, man. You pass up on a generational type quarterback. And I hope he is that type of quarterback. I know he's going to be very, very well. He comes from nowhere, man. I mean, just because he comes from money, he had to work his way all the way to the NFL. Deion ain't giving me nothing. Everything he got, he earned it. He could have came out of high school and went to a Power 4 school, Power 5 school, but he decided to go down there and play for a daddy as a 4-star quarterback. I mean, you can't penalize him for that because, man, I mean, damn, the kid is arrogant, what they say. I just think the kid is confident. He wear watches in the game. Yeah, he got money. Shit, if I had money, I would have big old chains and big old watches too. If I had that type of money, like shit, everybody want to bling. Honestly, if I had down millions of dollars, I had me a fat ass goddamn watch and a fat ass ring. I got nice watches, but my watches ain't his. So I mean, stop penalizing these kids, man, for doing what they're doing, just enjoying life. We didn't penalize Johnny Manziel for running around throwing up the money sign. I mean, he threw up the money sign all through college. Nobody penalized him. He told you that he told the NCAA he was out there signing autograph for money. Did nobody penalize him? Actually, Cleveland drafted him in the first round, 22 pick in the draft. And he went to Cleveland and stunk up the joint. Nobody penalized Jack. What was Zach? What his name? Zach, the little short guy from the Jets 2-3 years
Zach
ago.
Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Nobody penalized him for having a weak playing against weak opponents and having bad games against weak opponents. They just gave him this ball because he was short. He was down. He had a nice bomb, one good throw, and he was fast. What did he do in the Jets as a number 2 pick? Absolutely nothing. So let's just sit back and relax, man, and just watch it. I don't think Jackson Dart is a bad quarterback. I really don't. I actually like Jackson Dart. I had a first round grade on him myself.
Yep.
But I didn't have a first round grade on Tyler. I didn't have a second round grade on Tyler. I didn't have a third round grade on Tyler. I had a second round grade on Miro and a third round grade on Miro. So I wasn't mad. I see Dylan Gabriel. I mean, I wasn't mad if Dylan Gabriel went for him because, like Brinsky said, Dylan Gabriel was a damn Heisman Trophy finalist. And he has some wheels so he can move. He got a good arm. He's not that strong with Shedeur. He's accurate. He's fast. I mean, he can't read defense that well, but I understood that part of the draft pick. Other than that, man, I just think that was just some lowballing ass shit. And the NFL blackball the kid like they normally does. Anybody that high profile, anybody that flashing, they blackball your ass. And then I think it was a lesson of humbling, trying to humble him, trying to kill his spirit, trying to kill his character. And that was the best part about it. Even when Cleveland drafted him in the fifth round, the kid celebrated. He was still happy to be drafted. And that's a slap in the face, NFL. Go F yourself.
Well
All
said.
right. So I guess I'll go next on this. There's always two sides to the coin, right? So you're going to evaluate him. I personally had him at the end of the first round, very beginning of the second, only behind Cam Ward. I thought him and Jackson Dart were pretty close. Same thing, even Dylan Gabriel, in my opinion, is pretty comparable. But that's beyond football. I think there's just so much more into this. And I'll leave it at this. People are scared of different, and when they don't look like you, plain and simple. So you have a college kid coming into the NFL already making the money. He already had the money. Just like Coach Carl said, you wear the watches, you wear the blink. Nobody has a problem with that in NFL. Now, you never hear about it, but now there's a problem with it happening coming into the NFL. There's a change of scenery, and it's called NIL. And believe me, we saw Tyler Booker's chain, right? I mean, that thing was huge, the T-Book chain. So, I mean, this is the only thing I can get out of it because, look, I don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks or nothing like that. I can just speak on, I thought he did a really good job at Colorado. I think that he did what was different, which was instead of going to a Power 4 school or, you know what I mean, an Alabama type school that maybe he had a potential chance to go to, he decided to follow his dad to Jackson State. Then he decided to follow him to Colorado, which was different. And then just be himself along the way. And Dion, we already know the way Dion is. Dion is confident in himself no matter what the situation, even when your back's against the wall and everything says no, he says yes. So what do you expect from Dion's kids? I mean, really? You're raised around this. Would you, if you were any different, that's when I would actually be more worried, right? So this is what I would expect out of him. I don't know how his interviews went. There's so many mixed bags. You never know who's telling the truth. And a lot of times, analysts, it seems like, tend to almost undraft somebody, right? The first round grade to a second round grade, just by a simple, you know what I mean? A couple shows they do on TV. I don't know. It's just crazy when you see this fumbling out of control the way it was as a fan sitting back, having no coaching experience, not playing like that. And then, at the beginning of the season, top 5, top 10 pick, and then, okay, mid-round pick, and then all of a sudden, into the first round, 5th? I mean, really? I think anybody with any common sense, even a simple fan as me, can go, something's wrong here. And it just smells, you know what I mean? If something quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? So same concept here. But either way, I think more than anything, get ready. We're going to see probably more of this because more kids are going to be more confident. They're going to come in with money, already making an NIL money. And like I said, people are scared of what doesn't look like them, and it's different, plain and simple.
Yeah. And before, Coach Sheduer,
Let me piggyback on that, John.
go ahead.
Dion coached me when I was a kid. I went to football camps in Atlanta. My granddaddy was fed, so he took me to the Atlanta football camps. First thing Dion told us, all us young corners coming out of high school, he said, bring your own confidence. He said, I can teach you how to play the position. I can give you the skills you need. I can teach you how to use your footwork. I can teach you how to use your hands. I can teach you how to watch hips. I can teach you how to come out your break, turn, open up. But I can't teach you how to have confidence. He said, man, even when you fuck up, you better have confidence that you can make up the next play. He said, there's plenty of times out here I get burnt because I have so much confidence I try to jump around and somebody might catch a ball on me. He said, but I got the confidence to know that I can jump that damn rock. He said, it's not about speed, it's not about anything but confidence. As long as you got right technique and you have confidence, you can do anything in life. But you have to be confident in yourself that you can do it. So a lot of the young guys that y'all look at this, a lot of y'all adults in this room, you thinking about going into another career outside the one you're doing, or you thinking about jumping on a podcast, or you thinking about going and starting your own business. Confidence. It's all about confidence. And I took that from all my life, man. Everything I do in life, I took that one speech I got from Dion. He said, have your own confidence. I bring my own confidence every single day. And I guarantee you he instilled that in his kids. And I love it because Shedeur has confidence in himself. So don't call his confidence cocky. Just call it what it is. It's confidence.
Yeah. And just right before Coach Sean go, again, I'm glad John said something about people just hate different. Like, and then made me think of another one of my favorite rhymes by Nas, man. Just want to get this one out. He said, people fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. Guess that's just a theory of man. So you're gonna have to get used to it, NFL. There's gonna be more guys coming out with money. So you either gonna adjust to the time or get lost. But my fault, Coach Sean.
You straight, bro. I love listening to what you guys say. That's freaking awesome. Coach Carl was 100% right. John was 100% right. You was 100% right. All I say is this, man, and this is just keeping it honest, man. They talk about this kid being brash. They talk about he's spoiled and all of this. Well, I watched Johnny Manziel come to Alabama, beat them, and grab his crotch and told the whole crowd to suck on something. And I'll just say it like that. Nobody cared. Didn't make no news, nothing. I watched Baker Mayfield in the NFL, his first year or two, do the same thing at Oklahoma, coming out of college, do the same thing. I mean, brash he might have been worse than Johnny. Wasn't, it was okay. They called that confidence for them. That was confidence, I want people to understand, man. I really want people that don't come from our African-American communities to understand when you grew up, and this is from the South to the North. I done lived in Chicago. I done lived in Alabama. No matter what area I lived in, everybody that I grew up looking up to looked like Coach Deion Sanders. It's just in our communities. They wasn't criminals. They wasn't thugs. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of those around, but them ain't the ones I looked up to. The ones I looked up to was the ones that told me, no, don't put that pistol in your hand. They going to tell your mama and may whoop you before they even get to your mama's house, right? I feared them because they were successful and I wanted to be like them. I wanted to wear the chains. I wanted the nice cars. The part you didn't see was these people bust their ass and work their ass off every day at whatever they was doing. It wasn't nothing illegal. Were they brash and told you I'm good and I know I'm good? Yeah. Just like Coach said, they have confidence. When we grow up in our communities, that is how they look. It's a reason when they was at Jackson State, while Jackson State, you had people coming there in flocks to be around Dion because that guy looked like what we all grew up around, right? And this wasn't the guy telling us to go do nothing bad. This guy was telling us, if you don't get your books, your ass going home. He was serious. You better get your books. You better not be in no trouble. You better sit on the front row. Everything that y'all hold in regard to being ideal is what he does, man. I'm telling you. Now, it may come off different because you're not used to that. You didn't grow up with that. We did. So when we see Shedeur acting like that, that's just a kid who grew up he had that from birth. We had those of us that had fathers who died early or wasn't in their lives or whatever it may be. You search for those kind of men, right? You search for those people that's going to lead me in the right direction, right? Shedeur had it all his life. He lived with it. He was born with it, bred with it, right there in the same household. So of course he gonna be brash. And I saw people hating this kid for that. You talk about he sucked at Jackson State. He won't be able to play at Colorado. Well, all he did was come in and stats almost matched Bryce Young's Heisman year. If you take away those few extra interceptions, he did that with his leading rusher, his leading rusher had 384 yards, man. So they couldn't run the ball all year, and everybody knew it. And he still threw for 4,000 plus yards. Then they said, "Well, Colorado suck." They did suck the first year. True, as most. Do I need to remind you what Coach Saban's record was his first year at Alabama? It was 6-7, if I'm not mistaken, or 6-6. It wasn't great. Take the bowl game away, we might have been 6-6, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I think we won 6 wins, if I'm not mistaken.
7-6.
7-6. That's what I said. 7.
Louisiana Monroe or
facts. It's always going to be tough the first year for any coach. Well, guess what he did last year? Went 9-3. He flipped it around, same as Alabama, regular season, 9-3, 9-4 because he lost the bowl game at Colorado, bro. Colorado. So it went from he can't play because he came from Jackson State till he showed you he could play. Well, they don't play nobody. It was always moving the goalposts, which is what we face every day. We face that same thing. I can't tell y'all how many times we pull up at a red light. You look over to the passenger, they locking the doors. Brinsky know, Coach Carr know, Jans know. I don't know if John know, but I know these dudes know. I can't tell y'all how many times we in Walmart and you seeing somebody walking behind you, like, what you doing, bro? I don't have to steal nothing. That's every day. That's every day, man. Right? And then you ask us to understand. Well, you have to understand, no, I don't understand. I'm not a thief. Never been a thief in my life, ever. Right? So when you see this kid getting prank calls and you think that's funny, these kids work their ass off to get to the pros, and then you have somebody call this kid and what if it was your child? Your child getting hated on because of whatever. Maybe your child has an African-American girlfriend. Maybe your child got too many African-American friends. It's something that pissed somebody off, right? Well, your child just achieved something that a lot of people would never get to do. And that's go to the pros, and you got some fool out here calling your child, laughing, joking, playing on the phone, trying to play with his dream. You think that's okay? Man, y'all are not. This is not for everybody, of course. This is for the people that was taking solace in this kid slipping in the NFL draft. And it's true. Really quickly, the NFL, man, has been around a long time. They understand the NFL probably has a more good old boy system than any other sport. The NFL is the only sport where the owners have private meetings where you can't come if you're a player. No other executives, the owners only. Nobody else is allowed. Right? There'll never be a collective bargaining agreement that matches the NBA. The NBA wants you as a partner. The NFL said you'll never be our partner. You work for us, and that's it. You're an employee, period. No problem. Right? So when you see the NFL do this in collective, it make me feel some kind of way as a man, brother. It do. How can I not? That could have been my child, right? You can't talk about this man's play because he excelled at his play. You said you want to humble him. Well, you did. You didn't. You may have satisfied yourself that you humbled him, but one little NFL slide will never erase 23, 22 years of what his father has instilled in him, right? Do not allow my confidence to offend your insecurities. Let me say that one more time so it won't go over your head. I've never, don't classify me with the people that are out here doing madness in the world. I'm raising my daughters, work every day. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow my confidence in myself, right, to affect your insecurities that you already have for yourself for whatever reason. You mad at him because he got money? Are you mad at what he has and that you don't have, right? So you hold everything against him. He show his watches and his jewelry. We all wear jewelry. Mine just ain't as big as his. You know what I'm saying? That's where we come from, bro. When I'm growing up, that's what everybody looked like. They had this on. It's almost go look at a African American podcaster that don't have it. It's just something that you play golf, I wear jewelry. What's the difference? Ain't no difference. I still love you. It's just different. It's okay. Different don't mean bad, man. Right? Different don't mean bad. And I think at an early age, we're taught that. We face it so bad much. We don't want to project it on nobody else because hell, I go through it every day. Why I want to act that way to you? So in closing, man, everything that you held against this dude, I watched Johnny Manziel do. Right? I watched, and Johnny Manziel was on cocaine. He admittedly said it, and the NFL knew it. Talked to him about it, and you still drafted him at number 1. Well, this kid ain't on drugs, don't got no record, never beat up a girl, never had a speeding ticket, nothing. All he is loud and boisterous. And I get it. I get it. You don't like that. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm done. To prank call that kid and to talk about he don't deserve this and he don't deserve that, the tape don't lie. Well, I don't know who taught y'all how to watch tape. You know what I'm saying? I coached at 2 high schools, coached 707, almost 7 years, and put several kids at Division I schools. Maybe your watching tape is different than mine because my watching tape is better than Tyler Shook. It's just the God honest truth. And I don't care if Tyler Shook was Chinese, black, white, or purple. Better is better. Worse is worse. If you want to say Cam Ward was better, I can't argue with you right there, right? That's a fair debate, right? But when you start talking about this kid was what did he go? 6th round, 5th round? What did he go? 5th round? Come on, man. Come on, guy. Like, come on, man. What we doing, right? That was a clear shot at this family, a clear shot at Shedeur, and a clear shot at the culture that we come from, saying you'll never run this. I don't care who, and that's cool. I don't recall Dion trying to run this. But if you think Dion don't have contacts on the NFL network, contacts through coaches in that league, contacts. See, Dion is a dangerous man to them. Dion has people in your room, in the very room that you think are loyal to you, that aren't loyal to you. They loyal to him. They're going to give him all the inside information. That's what they don't like. This dude got too much power, right? So you have to hit him any way you can, right? But I'm going to tell you this. All you've done is add more wood to a fire that we born with, man. I gotta be better. I gotta work harder. If I want to get to where I want to go, right? So it's bigger than just Shedeur. It really is, man. And it's bigger than Shedeur, and I'm gonna I watched Zach Wilson. I watched you draft him. He wasn't a troublemaker, but the kid couldn't play. The kid couldn't play, man. You still took him 1st round because he was a nice, clean-cut young man. And I ain't got no problem with that, right? The bottom line is, bro, different don't mean bad, man. Different don't mean bad. You don't got to hate on this kid because he's different, right? Because he's different than what you came up with. My uncles, they aren't loud people. They talk about how he talked too much and he loud, he brash. I tell them, you're thinking like a 60, 70-year-old man. Think about when you was 18. How were you? 19. How were you? Hell, I got in trouble at 18, 19 in college without a couple of million. a couple of $20 in my pocket, maybe, right? I made mistakes, broke as hell. So I can't even imagine having a couple $100,000. My ass might be dead right now. Thank God I didn't have it, right?
Right.
So, don't allow my confidence to offend your insecurities. The boy was good. He got screwed over, man. And you know it. And it's okay though, because God don't make no mistakes. And if you're a Christian, cool. If you're a Muslim, cool. If whatever your religion is, I love everybody, right? But whatever you believe in, even if you don't believe in nothing, that's cool. If you believe the space in the universe, whatever, that's fine with me. But whatever you believe in, remember wrong is wrong. You do wrong gonna follow you. If you want these people think you can do that kind of thing and you're not gonna go accounted for, I feel bad for you, man. I feel bad for you. When you have that flat going to work tomorrow, you know why. Or when something happens, you know why. Right? God don't make no mistakes. In the future, will tell who was right and who was wrong.
Jan,
right quick, Briscoe.
go ahead. Perfect.
Just let the people know, man. We are people of pride. We come from nothing. Like you talking about the black race, man. We come from slavery. So whole time the United States had us in captivity, man. We was sitting up watching these slave owners rocking their jewelry, riding their nice cars, dressing all nice and neat. So as soon as black people got an opportunity to earn something, we start buying those clothes. We start buying those jewelry. We start looking for those cars. And then now that we doing it, and a lot of us making more money than some of the people that are still wishing that we was staying in slavery, they can't stand the fact that we are flashy. Yes, we are flashy because we never had it. And once we get a chance to get it, we want it. And that's a lot of time, that's our downfall too, because we'll be broke and then we'll mysteriously get rich and then we'll blow all our money on flashy things. Then you have the right to talk about us because that's idiotic, you know what I mean? A lot of us stupid like that and we do it. But when we hustling, we working hard, we trying to earn everything we get. We're not asking anybody for nothing.
Nope.
Don't put your foot on our necks and try to hold us there. If you see black folks out here hustling hard, working hard, doing it the right way, all we want, man, we don't want your money. We don't want your appreciation. We just want you to leave us the hell alone and let us grow. And if you feel like you want to give us a hand and help us get where we're going, we appreciate it. We ain't gonna steal from you. We're not gonna come break into your house. We ain't gonna kill you. We're not gonna stab you in your back. We are some of the most loyal people in the world. Just don't try us. Like don't stab me in the back and think you're gonna come look me in my face. That ain't gonna happen. Like that's just not gonna happen. But you come to me and you a friend of me, you be friend of me, I'm gonna be a friend of you. You treat me with respect, I'm gonna treat you with more. You treat me with kindness, I'm gonna treat you with love. Period. That's just how we are. We have our bad balls in our groups.
Facts.
I mean, it's just like every other race, man. All white folks ain't good. All Mexicans are not good. All Asians are not good. Every race has their problems. A lot of those Caucasian people got a problem with crystal meth and all different type stuff. We have the same problem. We got crack cocaine, crackheads, and whatnot in our people. Y'all got the meth, we got the crack cocaine. The Mexican got all type of snorting cocaine and all types of other weird stuff that they have going on. Every race has a problem. Every single race has a problem. We don't like ourselves more than we don't like y'all outside our race. Y'all don't like us, and hell, we don't like half of us. And that's period. And we understand that. A lot of our young youth are out here doing things that has no reason to be doing. I mean, they're doing a lot of stupid shit. And it's understandable. And we hate it too. I try my best every day, me personally. Try my best every single day to try to talk a young kid out of doing something stupid. Every single day. I catch them smoking weed. I try to talk them out of smoking weed. I catch them vaping. I don't turn them in most of the time. I just take the break and I try to have a conversation with them to try to figure out a way to change lives. Because our youth was the one we try to lead today. Those will be our youth leaders to tomorrow. And the way our leaders growing today, we probably won't have leaders tomorrow. And I understand, John. I mean, we appreciate you, bro. because we know that your heart is not like most people's heart. And I really appreciate you saying what you're saying, because I think if you hadn't started a conversation, I don't think neither one of us probably would have got that deep into it because of our love and respect for you. So I appreciate you starting the conversation, man. But just like Susan just said, our federal prison is overcrowded with young black men. Our state prison is overcrowded with young black men. I mean, like, man, I was in the system getting ready to start doing a whole lot of stuff, man, probation wise. And I looked at it, man. One of the judges asked me, was I biased on locking up young black men? And I said, no, don't have a bias. If a kid commits felonies, he should be locked up. But if a kid out here smoking weed, I'm not trying to put a kid in jail for a blunt or 2 blunts or quarter pound of weed, knowing that he's a smoker. If he's selling it, that's a different story. But if he's smoking it, no, I'm not trying to put a kid in prison for that. Those kids can be rehabbed. Every time a kid get in the problem as a young black man, it's not a threat to society. We don't own that many guns. Even when we go out shooting, we go shoot out ourselves. We don't go kill crowds of people. Like they're not gonna do anything that stupid. They might go down there and shoot a crowd of black people, but they ain't going nowhere else and shoot. They might break in the black judge house, but they ain't going break in the white judge house. But they know what time comes behind picking on white people. Everybody in the black community know you do something to hurt somebody white, you're going to prison for a long, long time. Long time.
All right.
That's it, man. I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Gents, I've been waiting on this, man. Go ahead. I just wanted to pick about what Coach Sean said.
Brensky, how far do you want me to take this?
Go as far as you want to.
I'll
You
say,
know
'cause
we don't hold no more.
because I'll say because this is not my platform. I ain't trying to
Oh man, you go. Go there.
So obviously, yeah, what happened to Shedeur Sanders is obviously egregious. But this goes a lot deeper to what these gentlemen have even been saying. A lot of these owners aren't so innocent themselves. You're talking about, first of all, we're talking about a league that is full of owners who have done a lot of shady stuff. Some owners, like Robert Kraft, who has been on multiple sexual allegations, messing with underage women, who was on Epstein's list, by the way. Let's not talk about character. Let's not talk about the Browns' history or the Ford family for what they've done, especially damaging hundreds of thousands of not millions of lives by taking away their jobs forcefully and not blinking an eye towards it. Let's not talk about hell. Even like we talk about the draft system. You're talking about we clown Shedeur Sanders and we make him seem to be this bad guy. Yet I can name you at least 20 players that are criminals, that are sexual predators, that are on the list for dealing with children in that type of manner, if you know what I mean, that are killers. We have killers that are still in the National Football League, ladies and gentlemen. We have DUI guys like Baker Mayfield, who got caught on tape twice with two DUIs, grabbing his crouch on the sideline. Johnny Manziel doing cocaine, admitting to that publicly about that certain situation, yet was still taking a number 30. Jalen Carter, who again had to pay his dues, but let's be honest, look what happened. There are plenty of players in this league that have gotten in trouble, that have made plenty of stupid mistakes. Yet somehow, some way, an innocent kid with a almost 4.0 GPA that has started multiple charity organizations and have donated hundreds of thousands of dollars of his NIL money to these charity organizations, who all he's trying to do is break the mold and trying to be more of a social media sensation, becoming the first college or NFL player to model for Vogue in Paris with him and his brother. Becoming one of the first guys to do Twitch streaming and to do live streaming and kind of carrying that mode, which, by the way, you see now all of a sudden you see every player live streaming on Twitch and Kick. Who started that trend? It was Sheduer Sanders who started that trend. Now everyone's doing it. Who, by the way, is Sheduer Sanders, who owns his own record label company, who assigned multiple artists to his record label, which, by the way, the first college football or NFL player to do that particular aspect. But again, everybody wants to complain about Sheduer Sanders in that particular situation, and make him seem like to be a bad guy. They don't. Again, guys, the fact that Sheduer Sanders has gone through this sort of situation, the fact that for the most part he's being blackballed by the NFL, it's ridiculous, it's egregious. But let's be honest here, guys. This is a black man who is breaking the mold of what it takes to be a professional athlete in the National Football League, and this is a league that is mostly controlled by the Shield. The Shield controls the league. The Shield controls the players. And if you cross that Shield, if they feel any sort of disrespect by the Shield, it has been proven before that you will get blackballed. Everyone in their mother knows that Shedeur Sanders was not a 5th-round pick. If you want to make an argument that he is a late 1st-round pick, or that he is or even a 2nd-round pick, that is totally fine to begin with. But the fact that he went all the way to the 5th round, and Dillon Gabriel, of all players, went ahead of him, Tyler Shaw went ahead of him, that tells you everything that you need to know. He's in the same classification as Will Howard right now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is, again, this is exactly why, and Coach Sean said this a while ago, but guys, if you have any kids, do not let them play just one sport. Let them try multiple things out.
Yes.
Let them test. Let them do and test out other sort of situations. Don't let them just play one particular sport. Or if you're gonna let them do it, you need to understand exactly what sort of profession that you're in right now. Because let's be honest here, guys, this is not over with Sheduer. If you think okay, he may have an opportunity to be the starting quarterback for the National Football League, guys, go back and watch the front office reaction. Do they seem ecstatic to draft Sheduer Sanders? Because to be honest with you, I don't even think that they even want him. I believe that's a Jimmy Haslam pick. Because when you take a look at their reaction compared to their later round draft picks, they seemed ecstatic. They seemed happy until Sheduer Sanders came out. That was even worse than him going into the 5th. It was their front office reaction to how he looked. To how they looked. They looked like they didn't want anything to do with him. The prank call situation, you cannot tell me that. The prank call situation, how does a kid get a hold of a phone number that was only supposed to be available for all head coaches? So you're telling, like, how? How did he even know that it was even on that it was even on the coach's hard drive? That's a huge question mark to me. Could it be that the coach revealed pivotal and vital information? Could it be it also could be a sense that, hey, maybe the kid is just nosy and he just found out one day that, who knows? Like, because, you just never know. But I just find it weird that he only sent an email to certain particular coaches, and yet for some weird reason, that number got out. And how embarrassing was that for him to stream live in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers, and for him to go through that sort of reaction, for that kid to tell him straight to his face that you have to wait a lot longer?
That was crazy.
That's embarrassing.
Man. Never seen anything like that before in my life.
Coach, what was even more embarrassing was the fact that the Raiders general manager called Sheduer Sanders not once but twice on day 2 and told him straight to his face that he was going to get drafted. They never chose him. So that's one of the most, again, guys, if you haven't watched the live stream, I highly advise you to check it out. It's one of the saddest things, honestly, you'll see. And it's a big reason why the NFL is just a piece of shit. The Shield is a piece of shit. It is completely controlled. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, simply just being yourself, being a different person, trying to be different from the norm, is worse than being a criminal, apparently, because even we've seen criminal cases we haven't seen being this blackballed.
Yep.
It's insane to me. We've seen killers still taken and drafted despite the NFL knowing. We've seen rapists still taking and drafted despite the NFL knowing. We've seen child defenders still taken despite the NFL knowing. But yet somehow in some way what draws the mark, what draws the line is simply just being yourself and being arrogant. It's embarrassing. It's straight up embarrassing.
Joe Mixon slapped the chick.
Joe Mixon beat a woman.
Hey, Jalen Carter was
Beat a
involved when
woman.
those kids when those kids lost their life. They talked about Jalen Carter for 2 days, and ain't nobody else said nothing about it. They don't even care no more. And them kids is dead. People lost their child, right? And none of these people who you see from Georgia tweeting about didn't tweet nothing then, didn't tweet a thing. That's why I don't respect it, man.
You know it's bad when Donald Trump has to say something is wrong.
You know it's bad. Like, I don't know what else you need to understand, man. It's just crazy that people would even think it's any other way. Like, they making excuses after excuses after excuses. Like, no, it's this, it's that. It ain't this. Oh, his daddy been his coach his whole life. Oh, he may take his job. I'm like, bro, come on. What is up with these excuses, man? Like, and to make it so bad, man, it's mostly some of us that are just saying this. I'm like, just thinking of the same people, like you said, your uncles, Coach Sean. We know they older. You think what Ali did back in the day was popular?
Facts.
You think what he was very brash. He said what he was gonna do, and he did it. Dion was the same way. He said he was gonna do, and he did it, and you couldn't do nothing about it. That's the whole thing. If you're gonna talk that talk, you better walk that walk. But that's what he instilled in his children. What is wrong with that? That is nothing wrong with that. You talking about be humble. He is humble. I'm sorry, he just got money. So, man, it's just like, man, just don't make a lie about somebody.
People pick and choose, Brinsky. They pick and choose. I mean, we all have children. Your child, you send your child to college to learn and to get better and to have a better opportunity than you did. You get a call in the middle of the night saying your child died in a car wreck. You find out later they was racing, right? Well, a guy who was involved, I don't know to what degree, he in the NFL living his best life, and ain't nobody talking about it. Nobody cares no more. All the people who tweeted by Shedeur, all these podcasters from Georgia, I ain't even gonna call their name. They know who they are. That tweeted and tweeted and tweeted. Well, when you was having people die at your school, I didn't see y'all tweeting nothing. Nobody tweeted nothing. Nobody tweeted nothing. No, So if that don't tell you, as people, we see this, bro. So we just like, come on, man. You showing me your left cheek to kiss? You show me your ass to kiss? What you pretty much doing? You want to talk about this because you can, but when it was right there in your backyard, and people had the worst call of their life that any man with a child, any woman with a child can ever get, you didn't tweet about that. And you didn't tweet nothing about that.
And just to close this up, Coach Carl, you got something to say? Because I was just gonna just close it out. I know we've been on here for a minute, but this was a conversation that needed to be said. None of us apologized about nothing. We meant what we said.
Facts.
But go ahead, Coach.
I did, Coach Sean. Jalen Carter caused a wreck, then nothing happened to him.
No.
Henry Ruggs caused a wreck and sitting in prison right now. Same situation. Only difference is the color of the kids and a dog.
Yeah, man. We live in a society, man, and it's just I don't think a lot of people like fully understand like how it feels to be black in America, but we know how to feel about that every day. We ain't even got to go down that line, but we pretty much know. But to just like close it out with Shedeur, this is his time to like what it all comes down to. You didn't get drafted in the first round, second, third, but you got drafted in the fifth. Mm-hmm. This is your opportunity to prove everybody wrong.
Brinsky, real quick, how is he going to get reps? Because the only guaranteed money he has is $250,000, and they got 5 quarterbacks on their roster.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson, by the way, doing massages and stuff like that, is still getting paid is still getting paid $30 million a year to be a backup. Then you bring in Joe Flacco, you bring in Kenny Pickett, you draft, and this is how I knew this is a Jimmy Haslam pick. You took Dylan Gabriel. Why would you take Dylan Gabriel and then a pick
And
later
Shedeur.
you take Shedeur Sanders? That's a Jimmy Haslam move. Jimmy Haslam wanted him, and the only reason why he wanted him was because he knows that it will fill seats in the stands. That's the whole reason why they want him. Jimmy Haslam was willing to tolerate it because the Browns are one of the poorest financial organizations in the National Football League, and they know damn well that Shedeur Sanders could be a cash cow for the organization. That's his call. Every other call was by their general manager until that call. That's why when they showed that video of the war room, they looked pissed. They look like they want nothing to do with him, which is exactly why don't be surprised that the Browns may cut him. They may cut him because how is he going to get reps? Who is he going to get in front of to get valuable reps? And anyone who has been around that knows the NFL or knows someone that's from the NFL or pays attention to it, they know how difficult, or if you played the sport before, you know how difficult it is to get reps, especially if you're someone that's coming new to an organization when it's already stacked and full of depth chart. If they don't like you, they're going to make sure to do everything in their power that you get the littlest opportunity possible. He's going to split. What was he going to split? 4th and 5th reps with 3 other quarterbacks on that roster? Who are they going to get rid of? Which quarterback are they going to get rid of?
Deshaun Watson is still on the roster, massaging right now. While Shedeur got a fight for a roster spot, and all he did was wear some jewelry and tell you he was good.
That's it, man. It's just insane.
Unreal.
That is just unreal. Like that. That's why I was just like saying this to like really just ending it. And I that's why I said just go there, because I'm not afraid to like go there. That's what the whole channel was built on. Let's just talk. Let's just tell the truth. No matter how ugly it is, let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. But this is his opportunity to and just like Jan said, I don't know how he's going to be able to prove it, but this is his opportunity to prove it. You go in there and fight whatever reps you got, man. You go out there and make them the best reps of your life. Do what you got to do. I know you're going to go in there and kill it, man. You're a first-round talent. You are that dude. Do not change who you are, because being who you are is why you here today. Being who you are is why you about to be a college graduate almost with a 4.0. Not being in trouble. So what, man? Thank God. like you said, Coach Sean, thank God. I didn't have this type of microscope, man. And it's a lot of stuff that I got away with that a lot of folks don't understand. Don't understand, man. I should be in serious trouble. And I know plenty of my friends that are like lawyers or doctors done some crazy stuff in college, even in high school, that we lucky to even be this far today. Some of them not that lucky, some of them dead, some of them in jail. So but this kid has never been that way, man. Never apologize for your parents being successful. Never. I'm sorry my dad was successful and I took advantage of it. I'm sorry you just sat on your ass and didn't do nothing about your situation. So appreciate everybody coming in here. That's why I said, man, it had to be said. God bless everybody. If you got drafted, if you got undrafted, man, fight your ass off to win a spot, continue that dream. And I pray to God, man, this man literally becomes a Hall of Famer, because that's going to be one hell of a damn story. And I've been seeing this kid since he was pretty much since he was like in the 5th grade, since Dion had that show on TV, and just to watch him grow into what he is today, it's a beautiful thing, man. So before we get out of here, everybody gonna shout out their channels and all that good stuff, and we up out of here. We're gonna start with you, Jay.
Bama Steer Network. Make sure to check those guys out. Everybody on there. Do the college football chatter every Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Soon to be with Coach Sean and Brinsky here every single time. Other than that, I got to give a shout out real quick to Zay Frazier, UTSA cornerback that got drafted in the 5th round. I meant to do that way earlier. got to rep San Antonio and got to rep UTSA and all that good stuff. Other than that, yep.
Coach Carl on the Block Sport Talk. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter, X, as Coach Taylor. And like I said, Brinsky, man, I appreciate you allowing me to come on your platform and talk, man. John, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being standing up guy, man. And we pray everybody on the channel, my boy, Coach Sean. Glad to see you, brother. I got to come back to hang out with you, my dude. And Jance,
waiting,
man.
brother. I'm waiting.
Being a Jance, man, but I'm glad you back on, man. I love the way I love to hear you rant, man. But I think you should have went us a little bit more deeper. I know there's a touchy subject, but I was waiting on you to get real deep in it. You know, then that, man, we appreciate.
He got a video coming. I know he do.
Yeah, I'm saving that for the video. I got a lot more to load in the chamber.
Can't wait.
Can't wait to promote that.
Especially Auntie Janet, man. We pray for you every night, Auntie Janet, that everything in your health get better and better and better. We appreciate you, man. Dwight, man, my boy Dwight, he hooked me up with all my graphics. When I need some more graphics, but I want to do another video, man, where I want to know the intro. So I have most intros. Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Good night.
Jance.
Yeah, hit me up at, on X, Jance716. I'm glad Carl's. I'm glad Coach Carl actually said that. Shout out to Dwight for the graphics.
Facts.
Yeah, I know Coach Sean. Coach Sean kind of got it into me. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to that. I'm actually gonna start using some of those graphics. But yeah, she'll definitely shout out to Dwight, Auntie Janet, as always. Much love to you. Let me take a look at some of these comments because I know it definitely is a lot of familiar names. So yeah, definitely Susan, Mimi.
Facts.
Like I said, shout out to Dwight, Larry, a lot of you guys on this chat. Shout out to Lynn too. I saw some of those tweets, how he was able to meet him. So that was actually a really cool thing. But yeah, man, Gents Sports on YouTube. Like I said, if you want to catch the rant, I'm gonna be doing it on there pretty shortly. I'll probably go on a lot longer because I definitely feel like I got a lot. It is a touchy subject, but it is what it is, man. I'm on this channel. It's a lot uncensored, way more uncensored. And so if you want to check it out, definitely check out Gent Sports on YouTube. Like I said, if you want to get in contact with me, Gent716 as well, on X.
Coach
Facts,
Sean.
man. Facts, brother. Always, man. I love being on with my brothers, man. Cannot wait when Jans pop up. I get happy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm used to going on with Jans quite a bit, man. Me and Jans used to be over there fighting the good fight at that other channel, man. Shout out to Kyle, by the way. Yeah, man. I appreciate you, John, man, for just keeping it 100. That's why I've always had major respect for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Really love what you do, bro. Follow you, you know what I'm saying? Can't wait to get started with you. Shout out to Dwight, shout out to Lynn, shout out to Mimi, shout out to Susan, shout out to Janet, my girl, man. Love them to death. Anitra, everybody who was in here, man. Everybody, man. You guys are freaking awesome. Love being on my brother Coach Carl, man. You know, can't get enough of my brother Coach Carl and Brinsky. You know how my affinity for you, bro. Thank you for having us all on here. Much love to you and much appreciation to you. Even if I'm out and about, my daughter got me running and gunning. I try to tap in and say something real quick or hit the like or repost it, whatever I can do. You know what I'm saying? If I see Coach Carl on, I'm trying to do the same thing. So much love to all the fellas, man. You guys are awesome. Much love to all of our other fellas, Ty and Piano Man, and just everybody who we all tap in, Coach Al, everybody who we tap in with, man. All our clan, you know what I'm saying? And a big shout to Lynn, man. Lynn hooked us up with some shirts, man. God smiled on him, and they got they cars, the sponsor. That's awesome, bro. That is awesome. I will be rocking the shirt here soon. Get with my bros and see when they're gonna rock theirs. We all gonna put them on together and support Lynn. Much love to Lisa Fitzhugh, always tapping in with me. Shout out to Alabama A&M University and Carson Vincent doing his thing and his family, you know what I mean? And really proud of everybody, man. Roll Tide, you can find me at JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely. I'm glad you said shout out to Carson Vincent, man. Hopefully have him over here sooner than later, guys. Hopefully, we can make some work out. Just we'll see. Only in due time, man. But happy for that brother to see his dream come true. The only HBCU player to get drafted. Knew he was going to get drafted regardless. And the Ravens, why am I not surprised? Ozzy be the one to he probably one of the main ones to say pull the trigger on him for real.
Yeah.
Definitely shout out to Lynn for the t-shirt. Whenever Coach Sean go live again or I go live, I'm just put it back on. I just literally just put it on just to do the pod. So shout out to Lynn and his team doing great things out there, man. That's dope just to even be able to be in the NASCAR circle. So
facts, man.
So
thank Coach Al was there today.
And yeah, Coach Al was there. So definitely glad to see that happen. And shout out to everybody. I think we said shout out to KB, Kangaroo Black, all the guys out there, every Alabama YouTube channel, Clint Lamb, Justin Smith, all those guys, man, very, very supportive. And a lot of those guys been over here. Just grateful to just say we just know these people. Shout out to Justin too, man, at the Bama Standard. All those guys over there doing the damn thing. So it's just good that we people know who we are and respect what we do and our honesty. And that's why I said I love podding with these guys. That's why anytime I go on here, I try to get them all up here because I know it's always going to be a great show. But this is definitely up there, if not my favorite, especially towards the last part. Because I knew how we all felt about that, and I knew we all felt the same way about this. But as always, thank you for everybody supporting Miss Janet, Miss Susan, Dwight, Larry, all y'all. And of course, y'all already know F Auburn, forever and a day. F them trees, Toomer's Corner. I still love Bo Jackson and Charles Barkley forever, but everything else, F. But until next time, we'll catch y'all up on the flip side. Roll Tide.